Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday, March 2nd, 2026. Here's what's coming up on the Owen Report today. Well, it was a slow news weekend. Very slow news weekend. Nothing happened at all. Barely anything to prepare for today's show. Barely any prep work at all. Didn't have a bunch of clips to go through or anything like that. Of course, I'm being sarcastic. Pretty much as soon as the news week wrapped up, soon as people were preparing to go to bed in the US of A, we decided to launch a strike in the middle of the day in Iran, a joint strike with Israel. There have been multiple U.S. casualties. The president says expect there to be more. We're going to get into all of that. And I had to go through all the different clips from the campaign. I had about an hour of clips. I think we've whittled it down to about 15 minutes or so. But we had about an hour of clips. I went and compiled everything over the weekend. From Trump, Vance, Hegseth, Gabbard, I mean, you name it. Pretty much everyone on the campaign. Pretty much everybody on the campaign saying no strikes on Iran, no war with Iran, no regime change wars. That was the campaign. It's undeniable. Anybody that says it wasn't a part of the campaign is a liar. So we've got all those clips. We've got some statements. And this really actually leads into what we're going to get into at the top of the show, which is, I don't even know. I mean, I'm going to try to explain it. But what used to be the MAGA media, or what used to be the MAGA coalition, what used to be considered the alt-right media, the independent right-wing media, the truth media, whatever, that's the incredible story really for me today. Okay, another politician lied on a campaign trail. We're used to that. We were hoping Trump wouldn't do it, but okay, he did it. I think the rest of the administration is just going along with it. I'd say that that's a fair analysis. They're just going along with it. Trump's the boss. I think we got a pretty good idea as to why President Trump is doing all of this. I think we have an even better idea for you that's going to be presented today. But, you know, I saw where the right-wing media was going a few months back. I made a few predictions that have come to fruition today. I'm going to show a couple examples, but I mean, my goodness, this new MAGA cult is a crazy thing to witness. I have to say, it really was unexpected. Now, again, a couple of months ago, we started seeing it in the distance, but now it's right in front of our face. Now this new MAGA cult media is right in front of our face. So we saw it and we were like, uh-oh, it looked like it's coming. And now it's right here. This is honestly a bigger blow, I think, than Trump lying to us, quite frankly. Because politicians always lie. We always have our politicians lie to us. Even if it is Trump. Trump is just now the right-wing Obama. But it was the people in the media. They were supposed to be one of us. It was the people in the media. They were supposed to be committed to the truth. They were supposed to be committed to the cause, the ideas, the principles, the values. Nope. All sold out. All sold out. And not even shy about it either. Like, not even trying to hide it. They don't even care. And it doesn't even matter that you can go look at their past statements, because they're all sitting right there on X. And you can look at every single one of them that opposed strikes in Iran that are now celebrating strikes in Iran. Well, we're not going to do that here. By the way, the war is ongoing. It's ongoing. So there could be live updates as the day goes on. Unbelievable. Another political movement destroyed. Another politician that lies on the campaign, and a new cult of personality in the American media. All that and more today.
This news update was brought to you by OwenSchroyer.store, the official site for Owen Report merchandise.
All right, guys, our friends at My Patriot Supply have an offer for you today at preparewithowen.com. Listen up to this. If you've done no preparedness at all, this is the starter pack. This is the starter pack for you right here. If a major disruption happened and you couldn't get to the store, how long do you think you would last with what's in your house right now? If it's anything less than a month, you need to check out this offer from our friends at My Patriot Supply. They're America's #1 preparedness company with over 3 million satisfied customers. And right now, when you go to preparewithowen.com, their best-selling 4-week emergency food supply comes with an additional 1 week of food free. This is the best long-term storable food you can find, by the way, from My Patriot Supply. Highest quality and the highest quality storage containers. Getting at least 2,000 calories a day. Real meals ready with real ingredients. No artificial flavors or colors. And shelf life measured in decades. You got to have some emergency food. So this is the starter kit. This is the basics. And the 4-week emergency food supply with an added week free. This is as good as it gets. If you've done nothing, if you just want something, maybe you don't want to do a big thing, you don't have much room, you're not looking to invest a lot of money in food insurance, this is the deal for you. Preparewithowen.com. Now, if you are listening, you can go to preparewithowen.com. If you're watching today, there's a barcode right there on your screen. You simply scan that, and your 1 week free ammo can with a 4-week emergency food supply will be shipped to you. Thanks to our friends at My Patriot Food Supply and preparewithowen.com for keeping Americans prepared with emergency food supplies in case the worst happens.
Turn my clip to 1.
On the cutting edge of news and analysis, the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right, guys. We started a little late today on a Monday because there was just so much that went in to prepping today's show. I had about an hour of clips from members of the Trump administration, Tulsi Gabbard, Stephen Miller, J.D. Vance, Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump himself. We had about an hour or more. I had to try to whittle that down. I think we got about 15, maybe 20 minutes max of those clips, because I just didn't want the whole entire show to be about that, because there are other developments I want to get to as far as just the actual war and the news is concerned on that front. But we will leave it to it will be presented without any doubt that no, the campaign was against a regime change war in Iran. Now, aside from that, we certainly understand that politicians lie to get elected. There's nothing new with that. We might have expected more or differently from Donald Trump, but that's the way it is. You might even, if you want to give a benefit of the doubt, say, oh, well, things change. Things change, and so, okay, they make adjustments. But that's really BS. Nothing has changed, and I think we have enough evidence to show that, no, this isn't about something changing. This was the plan from day one, even. It was the plan from day one. And then perhaps, though, what is The most disappointing in these developments is that the new independent media is not so independent. The new truth media that was committed to cause, committed to principle, committed to truth, sold out. Many of them have just completely sold out. There's no other way to put it. And it actually pains me. It pains me to have to do this. It pains me to have to sit here and tell you, hell, I mean, some of these people are friends of mine. It sucks to have to sit here and tell you that they all sold you out. It sucks to have to sit here and tell you that they're all just propaganda agents or just as brainwashed as anybody else. It sucks. It's not pleasant. It's not fun. It's not a role I want to have, but what other choice do I have? I call it as it is. I do political play-by-play, and this is the play-by-play. We're all watching it happen. We're all watching the digital influence campaign happen in real time. We're all watching the war propaganda be laid out for us in real time. We're all watching people who said they were against Iran strikes, against a regime change war, and now all of them are for it. We're all sitting here witnessing it. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. Now, I will give an example or two here to just kind of put it into perspective. But maybe you've seen there is an image, a couple images, and why is everybody in the administration wearing purple ties right now? Is that just Trump does it and then everyone else does it, or is that some sort of a memo that went out for everyone to wear purple ties? They're all wearing purple ties. So here's Trump today. Obviously, he's got whatever's going on with the hand and the IV they're sticking in there. Now he emerges today, and he's got some rash deal going on that doesn't look like a minor thing. I mean, you can see there's severe irritation, even maybe scabbing here. I'm not trying to be graphic. Let's just call it what it is. Okay. So is that not a fair question to ask? What's wrong with the president of the United States? And there's a measuring stick here. There's a measuring stick. It's called consistency of attitude or consistency of approach. It's probably a new thing I'm going to try to coin here. It's like if logic can't be applied universally, it's not logic, it's propaganda. So it's kind of just a shorter way of saying that, but we're looking for consistency in approach is what we're looking for here. Attitude consistency. So let's be perfectly clear. If Joe Biden emerged after some big weekend of strikes with whatever's going on with the hand and the makeup, probably to cover up an IV, fine. And then Biden emerges with some severe rash, irritation, whatever it is on his neck, everybody here knows what MAGA would be saying. They ran a story that Joe Biden was dead. Do you remember Laura Loomer basically bet her entire career that Joe Biden was dead? Okay? So all I'm saying is, hey, the president has something on his neck. What's going on with his neck? Looks kind of serious. Could be nothing. I don't know. They're not telling us. It's a simple question. I'm not insinuating anything. I'm not claiming anything. There's no conspiracy theory here. It's a simple question. The president, who's 80 years old, who's falling asleep during meetings, who probably just did maybe multiple all-nighters in a row, emerges, there's something wrong with his neck. I ask, and I'm now a Democrat. I'm now a Democrat. I'm now a liberal. I'm now doing propaganda. Or as one of the leading fops, one of the leading frontmen, one of the leading LARPers, Cam Higbee, this guy's turned into just an outright Trump propagandist. Whether he chooses to do that or he's getting paid to do it, you'll have to ask him. He says Owen has nothing, so he's now attempting to create conspiracies about Trump's health. Welcome to being a Democrat. What conspiracy did I create? He has something on his neck. Everybody can see it. Everybody sees it. I ask what it is. Where is the conspiracy? These people have lost their minds. And now you understand why Trump is able to get away with all of this. And to a certain degree, I don't even blame Trump. To a certain degree, I don't even blame Trump. In fact, let's pull away from this for a second. It's pretty clear that Trump has just decided it really doesn't matter what he does. And if you recall, in the first administration, he said he could shoot someone on 5th Street, whatever it was, and people would still support him. And he's right. So I can kind of understand, I can understand the psychology of President Trump. He's president for 4 years. We all see what happens. And then he sits here and he just says to himself, okay, most of the country just doesn't even care. Most of the country is ignorant and indifferent. And then I've got people that are going to support me no matter what. So what am I doing? I need to just be looking out for me. I need to be looking out for me and my family. Nothing else really matters. Nothing else really matters. And part of me starts to think that this whole Trump 2.0, this whole second Trump administration is mostly just narcissism driven. And quite frankly, that's like our best case scenario at this point, is that it's all narcissism driven and not something more salacious than Trump's ego, just wanting to be president again and not go out with a loss. That's like our best case scenario. And he basically just cut deals with anybody and everybody to become president. So to put it simply, Trump realized most of the country doesn't care. And then he has a cult following that's going to protect him no matter what. So what difference? He tried to be a real president. He tried to be the leader of the country. All he got was fake news attacks, fake media attacks, and then they tried to kill him. So he just decided, I'm just going to do what's best for me and my family. I want to be president again. That's really all this is about. I just want to be president again. So who did he have to make deals with to become president again? He had to make deals with the Israeli lobby. He had to make deals with Marion Adelson and the Israeli lobby and Netanyahu. So then you saw what happened. They sent all of their digital influence teams into the U.S. media. They funded him hundreds of millions of dollars. So he got the digital influence media support, with the harpies and the cleavage and everything else. So we got all of that. And then he got the hundreds of millions of dollars. So that was one side of the spectrum. And then the other side of the spectrum cut a deal with big tech. That's how J.D. Vance becomes the vice president. J.D. Vance is surrounded by big tech people, Peter Thiel and the like. And so that's why the two biggest issues, the two biggest priorities for this administration have been sealing all of the big tech deals, the data centers, the chip manufacturing, the AI, all of it. That's all because Trump cut a deal with the tech bros. And the other side, Trump cut a deal with Israel. So that's why we're backing the Israeli war for regime change in Iran. Who knows if it even stops there? Who really knows where it stops at this point? They've been calling now for Turkey. That's where they're going to go next. I don't think they're done. I think a lot of people, we have to look back on the past. We're assuming, because it's so insane, we're assuming that this is it. We're assuming that, okay, they're going to get Iran and then they're finally going to be happy. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think as soon as the Iran job is done, they're going to start going after Turkey. And if they're serious about this greater Israel plan, I mean, folks, I don't know how they do that without World War III. I mean, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. Now, maybe that's 2 or 3 steps ahead. I think Turkey is next. I don't think they're done with Iran. I think Iran is just another domino to fall in their larger picture. I think they're going after Turkey next. But we're all just sitting here just in a gasp at what the hell they just did in Iran and how they gaslit all of us and lied about it. And we're like, wow, that's way too much. I don't think they're done. I don't think they're done. And I think now they only know pedal to the metal. they see where the polls are going. They see Israel has lost the majority of Americans as far as support and sympathy is concerned. They know their goose here is cooked. Their days of riding off the United States, their days of being a parasite on our backs is coming to an end. So they got to do as much as they possibly can until that day finally comes, which could be 1 or 2 election cycles away at this point. That's why they're doing all of this now. I mean, to a certain degree, Trump was trying to help us. He said, all right, well, I cut a deal with the Israelis. I got to do the regime change war in Iran. But we're going to do mass deportations first. They all got to go. We got to do the mass deportations. We got to get potential terrorists out of here, gang members, whatever. We got to get them out first. Well, couldn't do that. Pam Bondi blew that deal. And now there's no mass deportation. So now, now we're hearing about, sleeper cells, terror cells, whatever. There's already been a couple of attacks. So we couldn't even get the mass deportations to protect our people. And I'm telling you, folks, this is just the beginning. There's a reason why they're building the Golden Dome. There's a reason why Israel had to build the Iron Dome. Because they piss off everyone in the world around them, and they all want to bomb them. So now they have to have an Iron Dome because everybody wants to bomb them. Now they're creating a Golden Dome here. I think you see where this is going. And by the way, that's all going to be with the tech bros too. So they all win. So this is the big tech, big Israel administration. That's what it is. Everybody can see it. And at the best case scenario we have now is that Trump did it all out of narcissism because he just wanted to be president again. He really doesn't care about the results. Legacy doesn't even matter. He controls the media. His friends control the media now. It's all propaganda. It's all brainwashing. There's an entire MAGA cult that will worship this guy's feet. So none of it even matters to him. He won. Now he's got to fulfill his duties, and he can go out saying, I was a president until I was 82 or whatever it is. And here's all my accomplishments. That's our best case scenario, actually, is that this is just a Trump narcissism administration. But back to the image. So tell me why we're not allowed to ask questions about what is on Trump's neck. Are you not concerned about the president's health? What if it was, guys, what if Iran poisoned Trump? What if an Iranian agent with a skin biological chemical agent was able to touch Trump, and now he's suffering from an Iranian attack on his skin? What if it's that, guys? Oh, my gosh. You didn't think about that one, did you? Whoa. No conspiracy. There's something on his neck. I'm asking what's wrong. And everybody knows. And who knows? It could be nothing. I don't know. Everybody knows if Joe Biden came out with some big rash on his neck, MAGA would be going nuts. They'd be saying he's dead. They'd be calling it a health crisis. It'd be the biggest scandal in the news today. But now the MAGA cult doesn't say anything. You're not allowed to talk about it. Don't ask questions, or you're a Democrat and you're creating a conspiracy theory. These people are nuts. They're in a cult. And you know what's even crazier? And this is kind of an aside, but I can't help. It's funny. And Cam Higbee is just an example because he's one of the worst of these goons. He's one of the worst of these clowns. Oh, well, you're not MAGA. You're a Democrat now. It's like, dude, you're literally running around in the movement that I created. It's really funny, It's like somebody that's sleeping with your ex-wife that cheated on you 100 times. It's like this. It's like, here's this guy who LARPs as a tough guy, who LARPs as an innovator, LARPs as an original. Dude, you're running around with somebody's ex-wife. You're running around with somebody's movement that you stole. Like you literally stole somebody's clothes and you're running around like it's your style. It's like somebody running around with your ex-wife that cheated on you 100 times. Like, hey, look, I got your wife here. And you're like, yeah, I dumped her. She cheated on me. That's fine. Cool, dude. He's like, yeah, but look at your wife I got here. Oh, I'm kissing your wife. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, she kissed 100 men and she cheated on me. So I don't understand. Yeah, but she's my wife now. Oh, it's like, okay. It is honestly, it is just the weirdest thing to sit here and witness. And I have to consider how to even approach this stuff. I do. I have to consider how to approach this stuff. I did the heel turn a long time ago. You guys may remember I was making the jokes about a heel turn. Like, it was obvious to me that I was going to start countering the MAGA propaganda, because that's where all the propaganda was coming from now, was MAGA and the administration. So that's kind of how it goes. But now what's so tragic is I'm looking at this new woke right, this delicate right, this brainwashed right, and I'm like, what do you do? What do you do? It's like, I don't want to abandon them. It's like they haven't figured out that Trump has abandoned them. They haven't figured that out yet. So it's like, I don't want to abandon you guys. Like, we're still on the same team. You may not realize it yet, but we're still on the same team. Just like you follow us everywhere else we go, like, just like you guys eventually end up on the land that we take every time, you guys will be here. So it's like, I don't want to turn them off. I don't want to. It's like, I still want to help them. I can't help myself. I still want them to be informed. But it's almost reaching this point of no return. And I guess I have to take my own advice, because I already realized this. And that's when we woke up in 2026. I said, this is the year of the MOG and the year of the trigger. And that's what it is. You just have to trigger these people. They're just crashing out, and it has to happen. We just have to let them crash out. We just have to let them learn the hard way. And it's okay. I understand. I understand it's scary to think that you just got conned. I understand it's scary to think that this administration is not working for us. I understand. Believe me, I get it. I understand it's concerning, because you might think you're going to lose your source of income. You're going to lose your source of access, and you don't want to do that. I get it. I'm not your enemy. I understand why it's hard to do this. But eventually you're going to be where we're at. Like, eventually you will get here. So it's not like I want to trigger you guys into this epic brainwashing phenomenon display that you're exhibiting here, but that's where we're at now. You have to be triggered. You have to be triggered into oblivion. And we have to MOG you at the end of the day. So that's what I said at the beginning of 2026, and now it's just proven to be completely true. But this is an example. This is an example of the level of propaganda and brainwashing now. Buzz Patterson. So this image goes around of what Israel did to Gaza. That's what happened. And he says, Hamas did that. Until you people figure it out, it won't improve. Hamas did that. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, there is no reasoning with that. Israel literally did that. And you're so brainwashed, you just say, oh, Hamas did that. I mean, it's Russia collusion all over again. It's Russia all over again. Hamas. So, the heartbreak is we thought that the right wing, it's like they learned nothing. It's like they learned nothing. They learned nothing from 2015, nothing from 2016, nothing from 2017, nothing from 2018, nothing from 2020, nothing from 2021. It's like they've learned nothing. Or they somehow think that now there's just no more lies and propaganda. It's all gone. Now that Trump's back in, there's no more lies, no more propaganda, nothing. Unless it's against Trump, everything else is real. There is no reasoning with this. If you want to have some debate, philosophical, intellectual, theological, whatever, about the land and Gaza and how it all went down, okay, Israel literally demolished Gaza. That is exactly what happened. Everybody knows it. They brag about it. Nobody's denying it. So what's the psychological thing here? They know they're wrong. And this is why they have to be triggered into oblivion. They know they're wrong. They have no defense. And so that's why when they see this, They reach for ridiculous statements like Hamas did that, because they know if they're honest about what happened in Gaza, they know if they're honest about what Israel did in the Gaza Strip, then there's no way in their heart, in their mind, or in their soul that they can still support Israel. But they're being told they have to support Israel. It's part of the bedrock. It's a cornerstone of their theology. It's a cornerstone of their politics. So they have to support Israel. And that's why they have to lie about what happened in the Gaza Strip, because they can't even conscious that they would support such evil. That's what this is. That's the psychological phenomenon. That is the psychological evaluation of why they would say something so ridiculous. Like, you're a Democrat if you're asking about Trump's health, or Hamas destroyed the Gaza Strip. It's so unreal. It's so outrageous, surface level, that you can't even reason with it. You can't debate with it. They're just gone. They're just these. So we thought that the right wing was beyond the brainwashing that we just saw on the left for 8 years. It's not. It's not. They are just as easily brainwashed. They are just as easily manipulated. They are just as easily propagandized as the left is. And that's what's on display. And that's what's so frustrating. And we got more of it. But you're walking right into this now. And I don't think Trump cares, because he knows these MAGA cultists will defend him. But this isn't propaganda. It was bad when they would print headlines that were just 100% political propaganda and not accurate. This is an accurate headline. Trump parties with millionaires as American troops die. That is a fact. President Trump hosted yet another glitzy fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago Saturday night as the Middle East was lit up by missiles. So Trump comes out, they start a war, he makes a statement how Americans are going to have to die. He goes back to a multi-million-dollar fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago. So that literally happened. Trump parties with millionaires as American troops die. That's not propaganda. That's exactly what happened. So now it's so bad that the left, that the hate Trump left propaganda, whatever, they don't even have to lie anymore. They don't have to make stuff up anymore. Now they just have to put headlines out that are true, and that's how bad it is. It used to be they would have to make crap up. Not anymore. Trump stays out of public view after U.S. launches military assault on Iran. They did a couple of edited videos they put out over the weekend in between Trump being in the Situation Room at Mar-a-Lago and the multi-million-dollar fundraiser. President Trump did not deliver a formal address to the American public to explain why the country was at war, a departure from his predecessors. And they still haven't really done a press conference. Now, we've got some clips from today, but he's pretty much avoiding any press conferences. The whole administration is, for the most part. Hegseth took some questions. It didn't go well. Rubio took some questions a moment ago. It looked like he stormed out. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. And they can't be honest. They can't be honest about what's going on, because if they were honest, it would look bad. If they just came out and said, look, Trump cut a deal with Israel and Trump cut a deal with the tech industry to do a bunch of things for them so that he could be president. And so that's where we're at. So he's taking care of the tech industry. He's taking care of Israel. And that's what this administration is all about. He's president. He's going to build a bunch of monuments. He's going to name a bunch of things after himself. And he's going to take care of the people he cut deals with. And good luck to the American people. We'll see if we can do anything for you in the meantime. That'd be what they would say if it was honest. But of course, if they said that, then that would be a pretty big deal, wouldn't it? That'd prove that Trump is pretty much nothing more than a sellout, and the American people get screwed no matter who gets elected. And everybody up there is just towing the line because they just want to be part of this historic administration. They just want to be part of the textbooks and the history books and everything else, and the glitz and the glamour and everything that comes along with it. So they'll stick around. That's how these things work. He's the peace president. I mean, that has to be one of the most outrageous 1984 lies. The peace president, the board of peace. Again, Time magazine. It used to be they'd have to print lies about Trump. Now they just have to print the truth. From Iran to Venezuela, here are the countries Trump has ordered strikes on in his second term. We'll just give you a list. Somalia, Iraq, Yemen, Iran, Caribbean, Sea and Pacific Ocean, Syria, Nigeria, Venezuela, and Iran. That's 8 countries for those counting at home. Trump has ordered strikes on 8 countries. The peace president. 8 countries. How much does that cost us? He wants the Nobel Peace Prize. He's the Obama. Trump is the right-wing Obama. I honestly believe it. Trump is the right-wing Obama. And it feels like this is how it goes, at least with Trump and Obama. It's like maybe at some point, I don't know, get into your own conspiracy theories about Obama, but let me just look surface level. Maybe at some point, Obama actually believed in things. Maybe at some point, Barack Obama was an ideologue in some way, shape, or form. And he thought he could get into the White House and really influence U.S. policy, foreign policy, whatever, and try to remake the country in some image that he sought. He really believed that. And then after his first term into his second term, he realized, yeah, that's all a joke. That's all a joke. None of that is happening. And so now it's just about putting myself in the best position to be rich and my family to be rich. And the rest of it just really doesn't matter. It's all a damn clown show. So even though he ran against the wars, he bombed however many countries. So it's like the same thing. It's like the same thing. And maybe the foreign policy aspect, it's like the domestic stuff is tough because it's just so hard to get anything done because of all the different checks and balances. And then the foreign policy stuff, you can't do anything because the foreign donors and the foreign interests run Washington, D.C. So you get in there, you're like, I can barely do anything domestically because of all the checks and balances. That's frustrating. You get in there, you think, I can do all of this stuff to reform foreign policy. Then you realize the foreign donors run D.C. And so you realize, can't do that either. So then you're in your second term and you're like, well, I can't do any of the things I want to do. I can't get reelected. So I'm just going to do whatever I got to do to make myself and my family well taken care of into the future. And so that's that. And it looks like that's the same realization Obama had in his first to second term, and it's the same realization that Trump has had in his first to second term. That's all it is. Now, a little more evidence of that. You may recall Netanyahu was in town for a New Year's break. Now, right after Trump had a meeting with Netanyahu, he emerges to the Mar-a-Lago crowd with Melania. And I want you to watch something. I guess this was picked up by Decensored News. Watch what happens here.
Mr. President, do you have a New Year's resolution?
I have. Peace on earth.
Now, they're going to highlight Melania's response to this, but since the audio is weak, the media asks President Trump, do you have a New Year's resolution? And he says, peace. This is right after they had a secret closed-door meeting with Netanyahu at Mar-a-Lago. So he says, my New Year's resolution is peace, and then watch Melania's response.
I have. Peace on earth. Peace on earth. Peace on earth. Peace on earth. Peace on earth.
So they obviously decided on New Year's Eve they were going to bomb the Middle East. They obviously decided at that meeting they were going to start another war in the Middle East. People were going to die. They were going to strike Iran, strike whoever. It was going down. And Melania obviously knew it. And so when Trump said, my New Year's resolution is peace on earth, that's why she had that shocked look on her face, because she realized he was just literally down there with Netanyahu talking about how they're going to start a war. And then he comes out to the press and says, I'm all about peace. Yeah, I guess Melania is even shocked by that level of lying. I guess Melania is even stunned by that level of gaslighting and propaganda to the press. Even she was stunned in that moment. And so here we are. And if you want to get deeper into it, it was starting to get clear. It was starting to get clear around the new year that, midterms not looking good. The midterms are not looking good. So Netanyahu came to D.C. and said, Donald, if you lose the midterms, what's going to happen to our plans? Donald, if you lose the midterms, what's going to happen to our plans? What's going to happen to our war in the Middle East? What's going to happen to our Iran strikes? What's going to happen to our regime change war? Are they going to impeach you? Are we not going to be able to do this? So they said, we have to do all of this before the midterms. We have to start the war in Iran before the midterms because we can't risk it. If the Republicans lose the midterms and then there's impeachments or whatever else, we can't risk it. And originally, I think Trump was at least smart enough and cared enough to say, okay, well, we have to do mass deportations. We have to do mass deportations, or we're going to potentially have terrorist attacks if we do this. So they were going to do the mass deportations, but Pam Bondi couldn't clean up the streets. Pam Bondi could not. She didn't go after all the funders and the organizers. The Trump administration caved to all the protests. So the mass deportations aren't happening. Nobody was arrested for the open border. So who knows who's in this country and what could come next. But Netanyahu said, too bad. Trump said, well, there may be some terrorists here. I think we got to get them out first, Bibi. And Bibi said, too bad. That's not the deal we cut. We didn't cut a deal for you to protect the country. We cut a deal for you to bomb Iran and get regime change. That's the deal we cut. You're going to do the deal. So we didn't even get the mass deportation. So who knows? Who knows if anything happens because of the open border from the last administration. But there have already been, it looks like, at least 2 Iran strike motivated attacks, including one here in Austin, Texas. But I think it's pretty clear that's how this all went down. I think it's pretty clear how all this went down, how Trump got reelected, why the tech industry, why big tech and the foreign lobby, the foreign donors, and the Israeli interest, we all know now why those are being addressed first and foremost and mostly. It's because that's who Trump cut the deal with to win. That was the deal. So that's why big tech all came out and supported him. That's why the big tech companies are all in the White House all the time. That's why they're going to be there tomorrow. That's why Israel is in the White House all the time, and quite literally with Susie Wiles, not to mention Netanyahu. It's why Israel's interests are being put before America's interests. It's why Trump is giving the tech industry everything they want. That's who put Trump in the White House, and Trump is delivering for them. And it's so obvious that watching people deny it, even though the evidence is right in front of their face, watching people pretend like, oh, this isn't it. It's America first. It's MAGA. It's just, it's sad. We thought you guys learned something about politics. We thought you guys learned something about propaganda. We thought you learned anything in the last 10 years, and you didn't. You didn't learn a damn thing. So that's where we're at. When we come back on the other side of this break, we're going to get into all the clips. We got all the clips of Trump. Well, not all the clips. I told you, we had about an hour or more of clips. Hegseth, Vance, Miller, Gabbard, Trump, pretty much the whole administration saying there would be no regime change war. There would be no more war in the Middle East. Pretty much the whole administration. But we whittled that down to about 15 or 20 minutes. It's mostly Trump, but we got some other ones on there as well. It's mostly President Trump, but we're going to play a little bit of Hegseth, a little bit of Vance. I can't remember everybody that ended up making the cut, but that's what we're going to do here in the second hour. And that could take us the whole hour. I'm looking at the list now. It could end up taking us the whole hour. We'll see. But we'll be able to get through. We'll be able to get through all of these, and then maybe hit some of the other geopolitical news dealing with the war before we get into the third hour. So that's what I anticipate to see here. Second hour of the Owen Report coming up.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
All right, guys, are you thinking about getting invested in precious metals? Have you thought about it by now? Probably. I would imagine by now you've at least thought about it, or maybe you're ready to take some action. And if you are, you need to give a shout out to our friends at Allegiance Gold. Now, they want to make sure that you are fully informed about the decision you are going to make before you make a decision. That's why they ask you, just give them a call. Any questions, 844-790-9191, or you can go to protectwithowen.com. The reason why I teamed up with Allegiance Gold is because they have an A+ review with the Better Business Bureau. A+, it literally doesn't get any better than that. And when it comes to the precious metal markets, and when it comes to buying gold, silver, you got to make sure it's somebody you can trust. It doesn't get any better than A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Not to mention 4.9 stars from all of their real clients, which is almost 10,000 nationwide. That's why I've partnered with Allegiance Gold. You, right now, when you go to protectwithowen.com, you can get up to $5,000 in free gold and silver with qualified investments, whether through your 401k, IRA, or savings. They make it simple and easy to make the move. But that $5,000 is getting less and less in weight the longer you wait. So give them a call, 844-790-9191. They'd love to have a talk with you. Any questions to make sure that you're fully confident on the move you're going to make, or go to protectwithowen.com. That's protectwithowen.com. Protect your wealth, because no one else will.
Navigating between the sane and insane. It's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right, let's start getting into some of these clips of Trump and other members of the administration saying basically, we're not interested in more war in the Middle East. We're not interested in regime change wars. We're not going to do it. Again, keep in mind, we probably had an hour of this, maybe more, and I had to whittle it down to about 20 or so minutes because, well, it's a 3-hour show. So let's start with the longest of them. This is a compilation. And again, you know, this is these are a lot of them are left wingers putting this stuff together, not this like Midas Touch. What was the other one? Like Patriot Watch or whatever it is. Like these are leftist groups that used to have to lie about Trump, make stuff up. Now they just play Trump's clips. Now they just tell the truth. That's how bad it's gotten. So here's a compilation of Trump on the campaign running against more war in the Middle East.
We must abandon the failed policy of nation building and regime change that Hillary Clinton pushed in Iraq, in Libya, in Egypt, and in Syria. We want to help them. We'll be good to them. We'll work with them. We'll help them in any way we can, but they can't have a nuclear weapon. We're not looking, by the way, for regime change, because some people say we're looking for regime change. We're not looking for regime change. I've watched President Obama and many other presidents try that. Doesn't work out too well. We're not looking for that at all. Finally, to the people and leaders of Iran, we want you to have a future and a great future, one that you deserve, one of prosperity at home and harmony with the nations of the world. The United States is ready to embrace peace. Again, I think Iran has tremendous economic potential, and I look forward to letting them get back to the stage where they can show that. I think Iran, I know so many people from Iran. These are great people. It has a chance to be a great country with the same leadership. We're not looking for regime change. I just want to make that clear. We took action last night to stop a war. We did not take action to start a war. I have deep respect for the Iranian people. They are a remarkable people with an incredible heritage and unlimited potential. We do not seek regime change. However, the Iranian regime's aggression in the region, including the use of proxy fighters to destabilize its neighbors, must end, and it must end now.
Do you want to see regime change in Iran?
Well, if there was, there was. But no, I don't want it. I'd like to see everything calm down as quickly as possible. Regime change takes chaos, and ideally we don't want to see so much chaos. So I'm looking to have a really good Iran, really strong. We're not looking for regime change. You've seen how that works over the last 20 years. That hasn't been too good. And we're looking to make Iran rich again. Let's let them be rich. Let's let them do well. I think that Iran is a country of tremendous potential. We're not looking for leadership change. We're not looking for that kind of change. This country has been through that many times before. That doesn't work.
So there you go. That was obviously a lie. And if it wasn't a lie, then why did he change his mind? No explanation has been given. You know, here's the craziest part. And I think just this kind of falls into Trump's mindset on the whole thing, that he doesn't care. He looks at his supporters as brainwashed morons. And he looks at the fact that the media has lied about him for the last 10 years, that it almost doesn't matter if they tell the truth now. It's the boy that cried wolf phenomenon. So he's got the fake news with the boy that cried wolf phenomenon. And then he's got his supporters that are just total cultists, total sheeple. And he knows they'll support him no matter what he does. Honestly, it's so bad. I mean, he could go bang their wives. Oh, thank you, President Trump. That was the greatest bang session ever. Oh, so Trump, you're the greatest. Thank you. You need me to clean up afterwards too? I can do that for you, Mr. President. Oh, you're the best. So there's been, here's the craziest thing. There's been really no explanation. There's been no explanation. They just did it. It goes against everything that they previously said. So where's the explanation? Where are the laid out goals? Where is the debate in Congress? Where is the vote in Congress? None of this is happening. It's probably the first time you've ever seen anything this big in with such little explanation, if any. None, really. None. And again, my attitude is that, and I do think part of it is Trump is very busy. I mean, look, there's no doubt this guy's working all the time. Let's be perfectly clear. There is no doubt this guy is working all the time. I give him credit for that. And, you know, there's this image that was going around. A couple people sent it to me, and it was Trump during the meeting for the strikes. And it's got him looking ragged and disheveled and the makeup all, you know, jostled on his face like it's been on there too long. Maybe he's sweating, whatever, pushing it around, and he looks all disheveled with the caked on makeup. And they're like, look at this bad. Look at how bad he looks. Oh, and I'm like, you know, actually, that picture, that's like when Trump is in that state and his makeup is bad, that's when you know, for anybody else, that's like if somebody's in the mines and they're caked in soot. That's like a football player at the end of the game, you know, with blood running down his face and grass stains all over his jersey. Like Trump with the messed up makeup, that's the I've been working 48 hours Trump. Sounds stupid, but that's what it is. I mean, honestly, that's what it is. If Trump is so focused that he's not even going to step aside to have someone wipe, you know, clean his face and get all that makeup caked off of his face, that's like he's in war mode. So I actually saw that image and I said, hey, I don't disagree with the war, but that's actually Trump that's Trump working all day. He's been, you know, he puts on the makeup. He's not even bothering to fix his makeup. He knows his makeup looks like shit. He knows he looks like a clown with this caked on smeared makeup all over his face, but he's in war mode. He's in fight mode. He's not going to do it. He's not going to waste a second. So I actually kind of saw that as like, all right, well, he's working hard. But I digress. There's so many of these. This is November 2013. Remember that I predicted a long time ago that President Obama will attack Iran because of his inability to negotiate properly, not skilled. So by his own logic, he can't negotiate and he's not skilled. Again, his words. More from Trump, same issue. This time, October 2012, almost a year later. Now that Obama's poll numbers are in a tailspin, watch for him to launch a strike in Libya or Iran. He's desperate. Now that Trump's poll numbers are in a tailspin, watch him launch a strike on Iran. He's desperate. See how that works? See? But we don't just have social media posts. Why not go to the tape?
I predict there's a very good chance that we'll end up in a war with Iran because I think it's politically possibly a positive for Obama.
I think he's going to start a war with Iran, and that'll be short-term popular. And he went from very popular to not popular at all.
No more wars, no more disruptions. I am the candidate of peace. I am peace. Undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to destroy their missiles, annihilate their Navy. 3 U.S. military service members have been killed in action, and sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is.
Unreal. That's the way it is. Unreal. Yes, you have to die in more foreign interest wars. You have to die in more foreign entanglements. And we really don't know the number because we don't know the extent of their network, their plans, anything. But I cut a deal with Israel to give them this regime change war. So sorry, America, you're screwed. Some of you might die. I sold you out. Too bad. Oh, you're a Democrat now. God, you people it is literally woke right. It's like, I disagree with you. You're a racist. Okay, I'm not a racist. Oh, I disagree with you. You're a homophobe. You're a transphobe. It's like, okay, whatever. All right. Oh, you're a Nazi. Oh boy, here we go. You're a Democrat. You're a liberal. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Like, I get it. You guys can't have a real debate. I get it. You can't have an intellectual debate. You can't back up your points. You can't actually disagree with the things I'm saying. So you just call me all of these names. Now I'm a liberal Democrat. Okay. Like, all right, guys. All right, woke right. All right, brainwashed right. All right, sorry it went this way. It's a real shame. That must be tough. Can't imagine to be such a cuck. Can't imagine to be so brainwashed. But that's you, not me. So, I don't know. I mean, that's probably it, right? That's probably all we got for it. Oh, no. Oh, this was on the most recent campaign. That's right.
I will tell you, you're not going to have a war with me, and you're not going to have a third world war with me. That I can tell you. I will tell you, you're not going to have a war with me, and you're not going to have a third world war with me.
Well, let's hope that second part doesn't come true. First part already has. Oh, but wait, there was more from 2011. Oh, I'm sorry. We missed this one.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective.
Ouch. Brutal. Well, let's go back to Inauguration Day. How about that? Should we go back to the inauguration?
Like in 2017, we will again build the strongest military the world has ever seen. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. Oh.
Yeah, and everybody stood and cheered at that. Now we're into those wars, and they still stand and cheer because they're brainwashed Muppets. Okay. Well, he wasn't the only one. Let's go to Pete Hegseth. Let's hear from Pete Hegseth last year.
The War Department will not be distracted by democracy building, interventionism, undefined wars, regime change, climate change, woke moralizing, and feckless nation building. The War Department will not be distracted by democracy building, interventionism, undefined wars, regime change, climate change, woke.
Well, it sounds like you've now engaged in at least half of those things. So, okay. That's Pete Hegseth. We got more from Pete, though.
I've been a recovering neocon for 6 years now.
Oh.
The foolishness with which we ricocheted around the world, intervening, think it was in our best interest, when really we just overturned the table and created something worse in almost every single scenario, has led to the hubris of the Pentagon is that they want to now tell other countries how to do counterinsurgency based on what we did in Iraq and Afghanistan. Like, are you kidding me? So you really have learned nothing.
Wow.
I've been a recovering neocon.
Well, I guess, sometimes recovering neocons, they start to drink the neoconservatism again. They start to drink that neocon again, don't they? Looks like they're all drunk on neocons again. They've had an episode. They've had an incident. Somebody needs to help them. They've relapsed. The neocons have relapsed. Stephen Miller, to anyone still gullible enough to fall for scummy media hoaxes, Trump said warmongering neocons love sending your kids to die for wars they would never fight themselves. Liz Cheney is Kamala's top advisor. Liz wants to invade the whole Middle East. Kamala equals World War III. Trump equals peace. What happened, guys? Love sending your kids to die for wars they would never fight themselves. How many members of this administration or how many members of the Netanyahu family are currently in active duty? Any? Are there any? I don't think so. I don't think there is a single one. Stephen Miller again. Kamala will send your sons to war. This is during the campaign. So now we get into what's happening now. There was an interesting Pete Hegseth. Hegseth and Rubio, I believe, are the only ones that have actually had a press conference. Now, Trump had a couple other events where he took questions, but it wasn't about the Iran strikes. We do have some of those clips. But some interesting things were said by Hegseth, and I think they need to be put into perspective. So here is the only excuse they can go with is that it's radical Islam, and that's why they're at war with Iran, radical Islam.
Tying it back to Midnight Hammer, the president has been willing to make a deal. You can't have a nuclear bomb. Radical Islamists can't have a nuclear bomb that they wield against the world. He gave them every single opportunity. Then we precisely took it away. And even then, after that, they didn't have that. They didn't come to the table with a willingness to give it away. So ultimately, those nuclear ambitions, which never ceased, are something that had to be addressed as well. So that's a discrete sense of what's being addressed here to ensure that they can't use that conventional umbrella to continue a pursuit of nuclear ambitions.
So let's try to put this in perspective. Lay down your arms, George Washington. Lay down your arms, Revolutionary Army. Lay down your arms, United States of American Army. Lay down your arms. Sorry, you're radical patriots. You can't have arms. Lay down your arms. No, you don't like that one? So let's look at it from the perspective of Iran or anybody in the Middle East potentially. Here's Israel sitting on a stack of nukes, sitting on a stack of nuclear weapons, and then pointing to the Muslims saying, we're better than you. We are inherently better than you. We are born better than you. We are God's chosen people. You aren't. You can't have weapons. We can. That's what's happening. I don't care what side of the issue you're on. Put your opinions. Put your I'm on this sideism away. That's what's going on. Israel is looking at the Muslim nations saying, sitting on top of their stack of nuclear weapons, saying you can't have a nuclear weapon. And by the way, on the other side of the mouth, they're saying we want to kill all Muslims. They don't even hide it. We want to kill all Palestinians. We want to kill all Muslims. This is their theology, many of them. Or at least they pretend it is, or at least that's an excuse for their politics. So imagine you're Iran. Imagine you're any of these Muslim nations. And here's Israel sitting on a pile of nuclear weapons saying, you can't have a nuke. And by the way, I want all of you dead. Ha, okay. Okay. I won't have any nukes. I'm sure you'll be kind. I'm sure you won't do anything else once I give my nukes over. You just said you want all of us dead. You just said you're God's chosen people and we're the scum of the earth and you want us all dead. And you're sitting on a pile of nuclear weapons. So of course, let me just give away my nukes. Let me give away my only defense mechanism against the only country in the Middle East that says they want all of us dead. Let me turn over my nuclear arsenal which they haven't even proven I have, to the one country that has the biggest nuclear arsenal in the Middle East that says they want us all dead. Oh, okay, here you go. That makes a lot of sense. And that's exactly what they're asking. And that's exactly why they aim all this propaganda at the West. That's exactly why they blamed 9/11 on Muslims. That's exactly why you've got people like Randy Fine and Laura Loomer telling you that every Muslim needs to be deported. Because that's the very premise. When they really can't win any other debate, when they can't politically justify it, when they can't morally justify it, their bottom line is Muslims are bad. They want you dead. So we have to kill them all first. That's all they have. That is at the bottom line. Once every other issue, every other surface has been scratched, that's the only place where they can end up. Now, here's another question and answer from Hegseth.
Ensuring the mission gets it. The American people also want to know what they're sending their men and women to war for. Is there a concern of this spiraling into a longer war and then one for the chairman when you're done.
Did you not hear my remarks? I mean, we're ensuring the mission gets accomplished, but we're very clear-eyed, as the president has been, unlike other presidents, about the foolish policies of the past that recklessly pulled us in to things that were not tethered to actual clear objectives. So we know we have plans, we have generals, we have chairmen, we have commanders, CENTCOM commanders, Admiral Cooper.
Folks, this is a disaster. This isn't even about Pete Hegseth. He's in way over his head. And I'm starting to look at all of this now. I think Trump intentionally surrounded himself with people that could not handle the job. I think Trump, obviously he wants loyalty. That way he can do whatever the hell he wants and nobody will check him. But the only people around Trump now who are either using this administration to climb the political ladder or just yes men that are they just want to be there, whatever. I mean, Hegseth, he can't answer the question. And he sits there and asks like it's a ridiculous question, and he doesn't even answer it. He can't answer it. There is no answer. They haven't laid out the clear plans. They haven't laid out the clear agenda. The agenda was Iran can't have nukes. We apparently obliterated their nuclear facilities, but now they have nukes again. So it's all lies. They can't be honest about it, because if they were, people would look at them and say, oh, you guys are corrupt. Oh, you guys are liars. It's all about regime change in Iran. It's all about the Israel donors that own this administration. It's like, I would rather them just be honest. Like, just be honest. I wouldn't even be as mad. Be like, yeah, okay, politics is corrupt. We all see it. Just be honest. Like Hegseth, just come out, just say, well, Trump cut a deal with the Israeli donor class, and he promised if they would help him get elected that he would do a regime change war in Iran. We're following through with that promise. And, but see, this is why they can't do it. So if American men and women have to die to keep that promise, then so be it. And there it is. And there it is. American blood and treasure once again spilled in the Middle East for the Israeli donor class. And that's why he's up there looking like he's constipated. That's why he's up there unable to answer a question. That's why he's up there shitting his britches when it gets brought up. What's the plan? What if American men and women die? Because ultimately that's the truth, and everybody in this administration knows it. Yes, once again, American blood and treasure will be spilled in the Middle East for Israel's interests. And everybody knows it. I don't even know if I can play this Lindsey Graham clip. He's such a disgusting slob. But here you go.
So I know the fallen would want us to continue. I know their comrades are ready to get back in the fight. We'll never be safe if our enemies believe we cannot take casualties or risk.
Yeah, more Americans will have to die, so be it, says Lindsey Graham. This thing is so messed up, folks. It's so messed up. They can't even help themselves. Listen to the Freudian slip here from Mark Wayne Mullen.
But it's up to the Iraqi people, or I'm sorry, the Iranian people.
Yeah.
But it's up to the Iraqi people, but it's up to the Iraqi people.
So bad. It's so bad. Oh my gosh, man. Lindsey Graham is now MAGA. Cheers. Cheers, guys. Now, Netanyahu, he's not speaking in English in this clip. And there's a reason why, because this is not the propaganda aimed at the West. This is the propaganda aimed at Israel. So when he wants to aim his lies and propaganda at America, he speaks in English. When he wants to aim his lies and propaganda towards or inward at Israel, he speaks in Hebrew. But he says in the video that this is what they have been trying to do for 40 years. So that's the honest truth. Now, he would never say that in English. Netanyahu would never admit that in English, because that would admit that, he's been the one running the lies. He's been the one lying and propagandizing America. Thousands of Americans have died because of Benjamin Netanyahu's lies. Let's just lay this out perfectly clear, actually. Let's pause for a moment and lay this out perfectly clear for everyone to understand. Thousands, perhaps tens of thousands even, certainly tens of thousands if you talk about the suicides afterwards. Tens of thousands of Americans have died because of Benjamin Netanyahu's lies. And he has no remorse. He couldn't care less. And now our president is in bed with this guy and cut deals with his lobbyists and his campaign workers just so Trump could be president. He cut deals with Benjamin Netanyahu. He made promises to Benjamin Netanyahu. Benjamin Netanyahu has been at the White House more than any other foreign leader in any other administration, and it's not even close. His top campaign staffer is now working for Trump, Susie Wiles. The top donors, like Larry Ellison and Marian Adelson, are proud Israel First loyalists. And now they are running this administration. And Trump has sold America out to Benjamin Netanyahu, whose lies have cost Americans tens of thousands of lives. Let's just make sure this is perfectly understood. Benjamin Netanyahu's lies has cost Americans lives. And this is why it is intolerable that we are cutting deals with this monster. This is why it is intolerable that our Congress shows respect for this monster. It should be intolerable in the United States of America. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your religious affiliation is. It should be intolerable that we show any amount of respect for that liar. You want to comment on what he does in the Middle East, like it or hate it? I don't care. I don't care about whatever the hell Israel is doing in the Middle East. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to pay for their protection with our blood and treasure. Good luck without us. So aside from whatever Netanyahu wants to do in the Middle East, aside from whatever Israel's agenda is in the Middle East is, that agenda and that liar has cost Americans trillions of dollars and countless amount of lives. And that is a fact. That is an outright fact. And the only argument that they can have in response to that is Muslims are bad. 9/11. That's it. That's why they can't let you know that 9/11 was an inside job. That's why they have to continue to tell you that every Muslim is a terrorist and wants you dead. Because at the end of the day, when you realize the reason why we've spent more than $5 trillion in the Middle East, and the reason why tens of thousands of Americans have died because of these wars in the Middle East, the minute you realize that's because of Israel's interests and Benjamin Netanyahu's lies, their gig is up. Their free ride is over. No more military support, no more financial aid, and then guess what? Oh, Egypt is going to start to look at them with a bit of a side eye. Iran, bit of a side eye. Gulf nation states, bit of a side eye. Jordan, Lebanon, full-on furrowed brow. Oh, yeah. And this is what I think, and again, I'm not trying to get into the generational stuff here, but this is what I think a lot of boomers don't understand about the younger individuals, millennials, Gen X, and younger. This is what I think the boomers don't understand. Our entire adult lives have been spent in the Middle East. My entire adult life, our military has been in the Middle East. That is a fact. And you know what else I've witnessed in my entire life? Two things. our country being in the Middle East for my entire adult life. And you know the other thing that runs parallel with that? Our standard of living going down. Our economy, our standard of living, the value of our dollar, our culture, and everything else has been trending down. These are two things that have been happening my entire life. And it is undeniable. And whether you think these things are connected or not, these things are parallel. That is a fact. And so there is nothing wrong with my generation, younger generations, any generation. There is nothing wrong with us saying, hold on a minute. My entire life, we've been involved in the Middle East, and we've got nothing for it. My entire life, I've watched my country go down the tubes. Downtown areas, not even safe, dirty, filled with crime, homelessness, poverty. We can't afford to own a house. We have to take out a loan just to make an order online. We come up with all these different ways just to be able to afford to live. Record credit card debt, record student loan debt, record defaulting on all the different debt. Our country is $40 trillion in debt. I've watched these two things run parallel my entire life, and I'm saying, okay, it's time to change the trend. Whether you think these things are connected or not, which they obviously are, but let's say they're not, it's time to reverse the trend. My entire adult life, we have been sinking blood and treasure into the Middle East. It's time to stop. My entire adult life, the standard of living in my home country, the United States of America, has been trending down. It's time to stop. There is nothing wrong with having that as a viewpoint. In fact, it will be necessary. It will be politically necessary to have that viewpoint if this country is going to survive. It must be necessary. And that's why they tell you all the lies. That's why they tell you all the lies in the Middle East. Because whose livelihood is at stake? If America does what's necessary to save America, who's at stake? Iran? No. The Gulf nation states? No. Egypt? No. Jordan? No. Lebanon? No. Palestine? No. Iraq? No. Afghanistan? No. Whose is it? Israel. Israel. They are the only nation whose livelihood is at stake if America actually decides to support itself for once. If America actually decides to get out of the Middle East and turn America around and save America, there is only one country whose livelihood changes, and that's Israel. And that's why they're so desperate with the Ben Shapiros and the Mark Levins and the Laura Loomers and the Mike Huckabees and the Benjamin Netanyahus, and you name it. We all see them 24/7 around the clock. Israel, 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 Israel. Because they know that if America actually turned it around, they know if we had a president, an administration, or a Congress that actually put America first and started to prioritize America, there's only one country on this planet that would suffer from that, and that is Israel. And that's why America continues to suffer. That's why America continues to trend downhill. And you can sit here and deny it and call us all the names you want. It doesn't work. Everyone sees it. It's never been more obvious. And even if you don't want to say, oh, this is some crazy blame the Jews thing, fine. I'll even hear you out. Let's even say that is where this is coming from. Okay, fine. So what? So you're against America turning it around? You're against America slashing its debt? You're against America stopping the investment of trillions of dollars and tens of thousands of lives in the Middle East? Because that's the other side. And you all ran against it on the campaign. Y'all stood and cheered when it was said during the campaign. Now y'all love it. Country's deeper in debt. Our way of life isn't changing. And yet again, what's being prioritized? The Middle East. So there you go. How can you blame my generation? How can you blame people 40 and under for sitting here and saying, fuck this? How can you blame us? How can you have any other viewpoint unless you're totally brainwashed or totally sold out? These are undeniable phenomenons and developments that we have witnessed for my entire life. We've always been in the Middle East, and our country has always been losing in its standard of living. So I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm ready to actually take our involvement in the Middle East down and our standard of living up. I'm ready for that. Whether you think that's Israel or anything else, that's what I want. Blame it on whoever, whatever you want. But those two things have been happening my entire life, and it's time to turn it around. And we were hoping we could do this with Trump, but that's obviously not going to happen at this point. He's the boomer's last gasp. They're going for everything. And, part of me wonders, they built all these weapons. They made all of these plans. Part of me is just like, they just want to do it. They just are like, man, we built all these cool bombs and stuff. We made all these plans. Nobody likes it. But you know what? We really want to see it. Let's just go for it anyway. Let's just go for it anyway, It's like, oh, wow, listen to you. You're a Democrat. No. Here you go. I disavow Democrats. Oh, listen to you. You support Islam. No, I disavow Islam. You happy? Stop playing these stupid games. Grow up. Grow up. I'm sick of this crap. I'm sick of this brainwashing slop. I'm sick of this slopaganda. Grow up. Have a real conversation. Address the real issues. Stop prioritizing foreign propaganda. Let's move on. Rant over. Vance silent on Iran war amid claims of split with Trump. I wonder how much of this is controlled dialogue where they still want Vance to run in 2028, but they know this war is so unpopular, so they want him to stay silent. Or how much of this is Vance doesn't like what's going on in the Middle East, knows it's unpopular, and so doesn't want to say anything about it because he knows he's got to be loyal to Trump, but he also knows that if he supports it, he can't win in 2028. I think it's cooked. I don't think anybody from the Trump administration can win at this point unless there's some massive turnaround. But I don't see it happening. And look at this. Pentagon tells Congress no sign that Iran was going to attack the United States first, sources say. So they just made that up, by the way. They just totally made that up. And this is how it works with the drive-by media and the drive-by consumer. When they launched the strikes, it's about midnight Central. And they said Iran was about to strike America. Iran was about to strike Israel. These were preemptive strikes. Preemptive strikes. Well, they rolled with that headline for about an hour and then never rolled it again because it was a complete and total lie. And even the Pentagon is telling us there was no proof that Iran was going to attack anybody. And there is no proof that Iran had any nuclear capabilities. So two complete lies. I don't get it, honestly. It angers me, man. Obviously, in case you can't tell, it angers me. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that this new MAGA cult just goes along with propaganda. I'm really frustrated. It upsets me. It's not even that I take it personally. I never take anything in politics personally. It's not even that I'm upset because you put in all the effort and take a loss. Happens all the time. I'm an athlete. You lose games. You leave it all on the field, you lose games. Happens. It's not even that. It's just like, I really thought you were better than that. I really thought we were better than that. I really thought we had gained so much ground in the last 10 years, and then here you are, and we didn't gain barely an inch. We didn't gain barely an inch. And it's like we're right back to square one, trying to refigure out how to solve this corrupt situation in D.C. And you're just blatantly lied to. I mean, what do you like? Hey, fine, you still support Trump 100%. Okay, that's your choice. That's your prerogative. Good for you. Do you like being lied to? It was a preemptive strike. That was a lie. Iran is days away from having a nuke. That is a lie. So do you like being lied to? Like Trump, love Trump, support everything Trump does. Fine, I don't care. Do you like being lied to? Do you like lies leading us into war? And now at least 3 that we know of, Americans are dead overseas. Do you like that? Even Ted Cruz came out. I'm going a little long with these rants. Even Ted Cruz came out and admitted that there was no indication that Iran was getting nuclear weapons. Even Ted Cruz admitted it. Let's go to this one, though. This is NBC News. They had Iran's foreign minister on to address the strikes. Again, this is just comical, folks. This is just comical. Listen to this short clip from this interview.
So for clarity, you said that your missiles cannot reach the United States by design, that you do not want to reach the United States, but you also said it would be necessary as a defensive vehicle that you could if necessary. So to be clear, are you committing that Iran is not and will not build missiles that would have the capability to reach the United States?
I can confirm, yes.
Sir, if that's a red line for you, why is attacking U.S. military bases abroad justified?
But because they are attacking us. They are U.S. military, installations, facilities, bases who are attacking us. We are under attack. Why don't you, recognize this fact? We are under the attack by U.S. forces in the region. So we have every right to defend ourselves. And how to defend ourselves? We attacked, the U.S. bases. This is obvious. This is a very simple fact. And I hope that, and I'm sure that people would understand that. We are not the one who attacked Americans. We are only defending ourselves.
Now, I'm not saying to trust that guy. You can trust him or not. Doesn't really matter to me. You can trust him about what weapons arsenal they have or not. Doesn't matter to me. But it's kind of hilarious. I think you have to say it's kind of hilarious. It's like, well, but why did you attack U.S. bases? And he's just like, what are you talking about? This is where the missiles that just blew up our capital came from. I'm sorry. What? Like, you guys literally just launched missiles from these bases and they hit us. Were we supposed to just let you continue to kill us? I'm sorry. I don't know. Is that and it's like, yeah, that's the attitude that they expect to have. It's like, no, we're supposed to kill you and then you do nothing. And you know what mindset? That's the Israeli mindset. And they're just sitting there like, what the hell? Now, here's what's going to be curious. Because this is what you don't get in the Western media. And you could even talk a little bit about Putin in this regard and Putin's restraint and how they talk about, oh, well, you need to get rid of Putin. You understand if you get rid of Putin, that the people that are behind Putin are going to be way more radical and nowhere near as, restraint, patience. The people behind Putin, they would have probably already completely obliterated Kiev. It would have been much worse. So here's Iran. They just killed Khamenei, who basically now goes down as a martyr. He was 80 whatever years old. Again, this is no endorsement. Let me just get ahead of it. Oh, you're promoting Iran. Oh, you're on Iran. Shut up. God, I'm so sick of this annoyance. Can we have a real discussion like adults without you acting like a petulant, brainwashed child that thinks Santa Claus is real? The adults are having a conversation, okay? if your response to this is, oh my gosh, you support Iran. Oh my God, you support Ayatollah Khamenei. Go sit at the kids' table. All right. Go play in the sandbox. Go play with some Play-Doh. The adults are having a conversation. Go write your Santa Claus wish list. Thank you. So Khamenei is now a martyr. He was 86 years old. He wasn't long for this world. And now we're going to find out. Now we're going to find out if whatever is behind Khamenei is going to be as patient and show restraint. I think we're still in the first wave of this, so it's probably too early to tell. It's all rhetoric at this point. It's all saber rattling, and it's all responsive strikes right now. Let's look at this in a week or two, a month or two, and let's see where we're at. They're reporting right now that more missiles are heading into Israel, so that would be the third straight night. We could find out in a couple days, we could find out in a couple weeks that Khamenei was actually extremely patient and showed restraint as far as this situation is concerned. Now, they're going to have to make a bet if they do decide to carry out a war, which right now it's basically just bombing everybody that cooperated with the United States and Israel. Iran is going to have to make a bet that if they decide to launch an all-out war, wherever direction it's headed, they're going to have to make a bet that somebody is going to step up and have their back. That's going to be the big risk that they take. Because they're not really winning any allies right now. They're not winning any favors. They're not winning any allies right now. So if they decide to keep these bombing campaigns and if they continue outside of Israel, they're going to be making a bet that they're hoping some other big factor comes in to support them, and then that causes a chain reaction. And maybe they're looking at the Gulf nation states. Maybe they're looking at Russia or China. China would be the only one, I think, at this point that could maybe change anything in this game. And I'd like to think that Trump would be smart enough to have China close enough in communication to assume or know they're not going to get involved. I think Russia's too involved in Ukraine to care. They can take care of themselves. But that's going to be the big bet in a week or two. Is we're going to see if the people behind Khamenei are more or less patient and have more or less restraint than he did, or if Iran is going to make a bet and they're going to say, eventually somebody is going to step in and take our side on this issue. Might still be too early in this to know where that's going. But I think we'll find out. I think we'll find out maybe by the end of next week. I think we'll have a pretty good idea by the end of next week. It's still too early right now, though. So this is just weird. So Trump had a press conference. It wasn't about the strikes per se. So he goes on, Mr. President, the American people are wondering about the Iran strikes and the loss of life. What's on your mind?
See that nice drape? When that comes down right now, you see a very, very deep hole. But in about a year and a half from now, you're going to see a very, very beautiful building. And there's your entrance to it right there. In fact, it looks so nice, I think I'll save money on the doors because it can't get more beautiful than that. I picked those drapes in my first term. I always like gold, but I think we can save a lot of money. I just saved curtains, but and it'll be spectacular.
Trump talking about saving money has to be the most ridiculous. I mean, folks, this guy has put more money into the currency, and he's inflated the debt by more than any other president. So, I mean, this is just a joke to talk about saving money. He's building a ballroom. I guess he got private donors to do it, but it's just ridiculous.
The most beautiful ballroom. I believe it because I built many a ballroom. I believe it's going to be the most beautiful.
So this is the second time. So first time Charlie Kirk dies and he starts talking about the ballroom. Now 3 soldiers die. He starts talking about the ballroom.
Ballroom anywhere in the world. And when you hear all that hammering out there.
All right. So, okay, you get the point. Now, quickly on the ballroom. So we're talking about a ballroom. Oh, the ballroom. I'm sorry. It's a joke. We've gone beyond the pale now to ballrooms. So, have you guys actually seen, I don't know, the renderings? This ballroom is apparently about to dwarf like every other building in the vicinity. Now, if you've ever been to DC, it is a very beautiful city. There's no doubt. I mean, it is one of the best cities to walk. If you're into that type of a thing, which I happen to be into. I'm kind of a connoisseur of downtowns. I don't know. I've always been that way since I was a kid. I love skylines. I love big buildings. I love downtowns, riverfronts, all of that stuff. So I'm a city walker. I'm a city walking connoisseur. DC is one of the best cities to walk. It's honestly, it's magical. You've got the historical elements. You've got the museums. Then you've got the riverfront with the ballpark and everything else. You've got the ornate buildings and everything. I mean, it's really a beautiful thing. Well, this ballroom is about to dwarf like everything else in the vicinity, including the White House. And I'm wondering if it's not going to be so big and clunky that it kind of hurts that quaint DC feel, where it's like the buildings that dominate the landscape, the Capitol, the Washington Monument, the White House, if you're there, some of the other buildings when you're walking around, the old Post building. And it's like, here's going to be this giant clunky ballroom kind of sitting in the middle of all of it. I'm wondering if it's going to really fit into the overall aesthetics, quite frankly. I really am. I saw some renderings of it, and it just looks like it's going to stick out like a sore thumb, guys. Well, we'll see. Now, here's another weird twist to this war. Claude is down. What we know about the Anthropic outage, Anthropic AI chatbot is experiencing elevated errors. Well, this story, I pulled this up to just tell you that this is what's going on. This happened right after the strikes. Now, Claude and Anthropic is what the military uses for these strikes. That's their AI program. This is where they're using data, whatever, computing for their AI to do these strikes is Claude. Nobody seems to have noticed that these things are connected. So Claude goes down after the strikes happen. Well, apparently somebody blew up the servers, the AWS servers that host Anthropic, that host Cloud. Do you understand what we're getting at here? Somebody knew to blow up the AWS servers because it would take down the U.S. military's AI system. Are you guys seeing this? Are you getting this? Kind of a big thing. Now, it might not have been a big thing in the moment. And yet, like, is that the future? Is that the future of warfare? Because I see that, and you're looking at this administration that's big into the AI, big into the data centers, and it's like, well, hold on a second. Did anybody think about this angle? Did anybody think about, okay, here's our AI for the military. Oh, they just blew up our servers. Our AI is down. Well, first of all, we should have no AI. There shouldn't be any AI involved in any of this. So that's first and foremost, no AI. But okay, you've got it. Now it's like, do you have to rethink the entire data center infrastructure? How many of these data centers are underground? How many of these data centers are protected from a bomb or anything? How much? Were they even thinking about that when they built these data centers? So you got at least 3 Americans dead. You got a couple more dead in America of what seemed to be terrorist attacks in response to the Iran strikes. You had 3 F-15. Now, I don't know what the truth is. This could be propaganda. U.S. Central Command yesterday, 3 U.S. F-15 Strike Eagles flying in support of Operation Epic Fury went down over Kuwait due to an apparent friendly fire incident. Now, if it's friendly fire, then that's obviously an issue. But would you be surprised if it wasn't friendly fire and they just lied about it so that you don't know that an enemy is actually taking down our F-15s? Would you be surprised if they weren't lying about it so an enemy doesn't know they had a successful takedown of our F-15s? Not so sure. Not so sure. Now, what did I tell you? I told you Europe was not going to join us on this. Everybody said, oh, this is how it's going to break down. All the NATO countries in Europe will back America and Israel. I said, no, not so fast. So you already saw the UK kind of bow out. Now Spain denies U.S. military use of its bases for the Iran attack. So there's had to be a bit of a shakeup in response here. U.S. aircraft leave Spain after government says bases cannot be used for Iran attacks. So there's a bit of a scramble here. We're monitoring the situation. Shares at Tel Aviv Stock Exchange hit new record highs today. Oh, so the stock market, oh, that's what we're talking about. The stock market. U.S. credit card debt. U.S. credit card debt hits a record of $1.28 trillion. U.S. credit card debt, a record. In other words, Americans are more broke than they've ever been. Americans are more in debt than they've ever been, but don't worry, you've got more war in the Middle East. Headline on the Jerusalem Post today, freedom, liberty, Trump. Yeah, not a cult at all. Not foreign propaganda at all. And then CBS, you know, they're pushing. They've been pushing this war with Barry Weiss and the Ellison takeover. That's why they're pushing this guy to take over. So that's why Ellison and the Israeli interests took over CBS so that they could push that propaganda. Called this one as well. I told you it'd be the radical right calling to put us in jail next. And then here you have it over the weekend from J Feed's Yair Kleinbaum. Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, and Candace Owens must be jailed inside a World War II-style internment camp. Look at that. The First Amendment isn't a suicide pact. Just as the greatest generation neutralized threats in 1942, we must stop the influencers turning our soldiers against the commander-in-chief before the front lines collapse. So I told you the next people to be throwing us in jail for speech would be the Israel First Right. Now here you are. There they are calling for it. And just to throw a little extra spice on there, perhaps the most deranged member of the media today, Laura Loomer. Now it's time to round up Muslims before it's too late. Isn't that amazing? How can you not sit here and at least appreciate the blatant irony? I think of the richest fudge, the richest chocolate fudge you've ever had in your life. And nothing could be more rich than this irony today of Jews telling you you need to be put in a World War II concentration re-education camp, and Jews saying we need to round people up based off of their religion. I thought it was never forget. I thought it was never again. This has to be the richest irony you're going to see on the internet today. Jews telling you that American conservatives need to be put in jail for speech, and Jews telling you that we need to round up everybody in a country based off of their religion. And they say this with no shame. They say this with no sense of irony at all. They don't hesitate. Wow. That will make you think some things. And they're not isolated. There's all kinds of posts like this. 0 Hour 1, reposted by all of these people. FBI needs to start investigating and combating anti-Semitism online again. Again? I would say they need a whole unit dedicated for it. Well, they already do. It's called the DOJ. Analysts monitoring comments of certain online influencers and their followers. It's time. So there you go. Oh, the FBI is bad when they're arresting people for the right on free speech and it's Biden. Oh, the FBI is good when they're arresting people on the right and it's free speech for Trump. Wow. Well, we called that one, didn't we? Never doubt me, folks. I told you. This is where the speech imprisonment was going to come from next. I don't know. I might have a little, I might be one of the experts. I might be one of the leading experts on speech imprisonment in America. So I guess it was probably pretty easy for me to see that one coming. So there it is. The cat's out of the bag now. Oh, man, I don't even know. I don't even know how much more I can take of it. But just like, I'm so sick of this crap. You probably saw it all over timeline. So they run into their bunkers as we're bombing Iran. Everybody in Israel runs to their bunkers. And then they do these propaganda videos. Folks, you need to understand all these different things that you're seeing. Let me just explain this real quick. All these different things that you're seeing, it's all propaganda. You remember the dancing nurses and the, oh, we're taking our vaccines. You guys remember all that? Okay, it was all propaganda. All of this stuff you're seeing in response to the Iran strikes, it's all propaganda. And I find it hilarious. This is how stupid they think you are. They find these Iranian women that are celebrating the strikes, and they're saying, we have to strike Iran. They're oppressive of women. They don't let women go outside without a headdress on, which is a complete lie. I mean, it's literally 100% lie. You can go to Iran and see. You can go anywhere. They don't make women wear headdresses, but that's what they say. They say, women are being oppressed. And so then they find all these Iranian women and they shoot these videos and they're half naked. You know, they got their girls out. They got the puppies bouncing around. They got the midriff. They got the high skirt. Some of them have facial plastic surgery. Oh, these are the oppressed women. These are the oppressed women that have to run around with bags over their heads and trash bags over their bodies. And day one, they've already got the slut appeal. They've already got the facial reconstruction surgery, the nose surgery, all of it. Oh, yeah, because they've been living in bags their whole life. This is how stupid they think you are. This is literally how dumb they think you are, that you're going to see a bunch of half-naked Iranian women dancing and say, oh, wow, I support it now. I mean, they do these videos that are clearly staged. I mean, folks, when you work in media and you've done all the different things, you know how stuff works. Like, I can tell you when somebody sets up a scene and says action, and you can watch it happen. So it's like they have this one where it's a bunch of Iranians dancing, and here comes a fake Trump across the thing, and then here comes a woman, and it's like they just planned this entire skit, had somebody say action, and then ran this 60-second bit for Western propaganda to support these strikes. So it's literally all propaganda. So now they're doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing in the Israel bunkers. So they find somebody with a camera who can upload this big TikTok account, and they say, okay, here's what we're going to do. Get ready. Can you imagine, by the way? Can you imagine you're sitting in a bunker, bombs are going off, and these guys are running around saying, hey, we need to do social media posts. Hey, we're going to sing and dance. These people are probably scared for their lives. They probably don't know where their family members are. They don't know how long they're going to be down there. And then here come these psychotic goobers that couldn't be more thrilled. They're like, hey, let's do a video for social media. Hey, let's sing and dance for social media. You're in a bomb shelter. And you can see that there's a lot of people around them that are not so appreciative of this. They're kind of looking at it like, what the hell are you doing? But that's what they do. So they're sitting in a bomb shelter and someone says, all right, hey, let's do a song and dance routine to show everybody how great these strikes are in a bomb shelter. Look at this. You see him in the background? Can you imagine that? Are they drunk? Can you imagine that? You're sitting in a bomb shelter. You don't know what's going on. You don't know how long you might be down there. And these guys are like, oh, let's sing and dance. Let's pretend like everything is great. Let's do a propaganda video. And you can see people in the background like rolling their eyes like, hey, asshole. Hey, we're all down here in a bunker. We haven't slept. We don't know how long we're going to be down here. I haven't talked to my family. My family could be dying out there. There's bombs going off. And you assholes are going to sing and dance in here like this is fun and games. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And I got more of these. Again, it's just these are the dancing nurses. These are basically the dancing nurses. I got more of these. I'm not going to play them all. I'm just going to move on for the sake of time. But as all of this is going on, you know, Israel has been continually bombing Lebanon. They haven't stopped. They've continued to bomb Lebanon all weekend long. Israel has been bombing Lebanon. And moving into the West Bank, by the way, which Trump said they couldn't do. And you know, there's another hint of irony to this. I don't think it is a gray area, but I'll try to connect the dots here. But it is a gray area. You understand that these women in Iran that are celebrating this, like, you understand these are feminists, right? Like, not like leftist feminists. These are leftist feminists, not like conservative, like feminine feminists, like left-wing radical feminists. You understand that, right? Like American left-wing feminists do the hair and the nose thing and the armpit hair. Iranian feminists dress half naked. Like, you understand these are leftist feminists. You understand that those are the women that hate the Iranian leadership. And I'm not saying again, it's a gray area. These are not blanket statements that are black and white. It's a gray area. But I've met these women. And I've told this story before. If you weren't around, I've told it before, but I met these Iranian women. I was dating a Brazilian girl at St. Louis University. I was hanging out. They all hung out together, all the different foreign students. So there were Brazilian ones, Spanish ones, Iranian ones. She happened to really be friends with some of these Iranian girls. I used to get into it with them all the time because they hated my politics. And to their credit, they were at least kind of fun to debate with. But they hated my politics. These were left-wing Iranian women that hated the political leadership over there. That's who these women are that you see dancing. These are far left radical feminists, by the way, for whatever it's worth. And so it's funny to watch, like, it's like politically, I'm probably a real conservative, politically speaking, and those are real liberals, and yet MAGA is with the real liberals and attacking the real conservatives. It's honestly the craziest thing. Now, I did not see this in the news anywhere. If it wasn't for this guy on the ground, it was nowhere. A bomb threat in a DFW suburb. And they were looking through the building. Quickly.
Got some law enforcement presence here, as well as the fire department, Highland Village. Everyone is here just taking care of it. You can see them behind me handling some devices with a what appears to be a bomb squad truck. Again, this is incredibly concerning considering everything we've seen in retaliation to the Iran strikes. This is a very safe suburban community outside of DFW. Now,
of course, there is a very large community of Muslims outside of there. So could there be more retaliation for the Iran strike? It was just, I can't get over it. It would just be so funny to watch all of these MAGA tards that attack me now. If they actually got into a room with these Iranian women, you guys have no idea. They don't like you. They don't like you. They don't like your politics. They don't like Trump. You're being propagandized. You're being deceived. I wonder if there's anything more on this. This was just breaking before we went live. If it wasn't for that guy from the Dallas Express on X, I saw it nowhere. Okay, it's in the news now. Explosive Highland Village apartment scene prompts bod squad action and school lockdown. That's pretty much all it has right now. So there's no other information. No other information as far as if this is retaliatory for Iran strikes or anything like that. What we saw in Austin, what we saw in D.C., there was a mass stabbing in D.C. they believe was a retaliatory attack. There was a shooting in downtown Austin that appears to be a retaliatory attack right here in Austin. Couple dead, couple more wounded at a bar. If it wasn't police being on the scene quickly, who knows how bad it could have gotten. So that's no good. Hey, we've gone long. Let's take our final break of the show.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
And you know what that means. It's the final break of the show. So it's a blackout coffee break. The official coffee of the Owen Report, blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. I had quite a bit of blackout coffee this weekend. You can imagine why. Staying up late, monitoring the situation, needed to be on alert. Same thing up early this morning. I was brewing whole pots. That's how serious it was, folks. You know, normally I'm an instant coffee guy. Normally I'm the single serve pod guy. I was full pots of coffee this weekend. It's true. They've got everything. The light roast, the medium roast, the dark roast, all 5 stars. Look at that. The Brutal Awakening, dark roast, 5 stars. The Morning Reaper medium roast, 5 stars. The Smooth Finish light roast, 5 stars. That and the other options that they have at blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. You know me, though. You know I am a sucker for the instant coffee. So try that. If you have an office of coffee drinkers, why wouldn't you want premium coffee instantly? Who wouldn't want that? So try the premium instant coffee. Get a bag of it right now, a box of it rather. I'm telling you, it's the only instant coffee. All the other stuff, not good. I don't even call it coffee. It's like coffee drink. It's not even, it doesn't taste like coffee. It doesn't give you the hit like coffee that you're looking for. The premium instant coffee from blackoutcoffee.com/Owen delivers every time. If you haven't tried it yet, if you have not tried Blackout Coffee, now's the time with this offer for my listening audience. Coupon code Owen gets you 20% off your first order. You heard that right. Blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. Coupon code Owen, 20% off your first order. Blackout Coffee is the official coffee of the Owen Report. Make it your official coffee as well by going to blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. And don't forget, if it's your first time ordering, to use coupon code Owen for 20% off your order.
It's the fastest 3 hours on the internet. It's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
No, que stop this. No, que stop this.
Well, President Trump has just made a very important announcement, ladies and gentlemen. A very important announcement from the desk of President Trump. Let me pull this one up for you guys. Go ahead and show you. Everybody watch Sean Hannity tonight at 9 p.m. Bibi Netanyahu will be interviewed. Wow. Oh, my God. Oh. Trump telling you to watch neocon, CIA lapel pin wearing Sean Hannity, who did the whole TikTok for Trump's first term, telling you indictments and arrests were coming. They never did. And so now Hannity is going to be giving a platform to Bibi Netanyahu to most certainly lie to and propagandize whatever audience he has tonight. This is desperation. Wow. I don't even know how to quantify this other than just to say this is total desperation from the Israeli lobby. And this is the President of the United States now promoting what will almost certainly be nothing but propaganda on Fox News tonight. I mean, this is beyond MAGA has fallen. This is MAGA has morphed. If Bibi Netanyahu is not arrested on live TV tonight, then all you're going to get is nothing more than lies and propaganda. Now, is Netanyahu, there's been mixed reports of whether Netanyahu is in Germany or not. First, it was reported he was in Germany. Then it was denied. Then it was confirmed. So who really knows? And maybe that's all part of the thing to keep Netanyahu safe from getting struck himself. Maybe they'll tell us tonight where Netanyahu is. If he's in Germany, the irony of that would be too perfect to even explain. But he supposedly has an ICC arrest warrant in Germany, so I'd be surprised if he was actually there. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Now, we do have a couple more clips here, including this clip from Marco Rubio, who took questions today. I mean, here's the problem that Hegseth and Rubio are currently in. They can't be honest about what's going on. And then if they accidentally are honest, well, now you've just accidentally told the American people how bad things actually are. So here's Rubio. Listen to this one.
The second question that's been asked is, why now? Well, there's two reasons why now. The first is it was abundantly clear that if Iran came under attack by anyone, the United States or Israel or anyone, they were going to respond against the United States. The orders had been delegated down to the field commanders. It was automatic, and in fact, it bared to be true because, in fact, within an hour of the initial attack on the leadership compound, the missile forces in the south and in the north, for that matter, had already been activated to launch. In fact, those had already been pre-positioned. The third is the assessment that was made that if we stood and waited for that attack to come first before we hit them, we would suffer much higher casualties. And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act.
So in other words, Israel just put U.S. lives in danger. He just admitted it. Marco Rubio just admitted it. Israel put American lives in danger. Greatest ally. And the whole thing doesn't even make sense. It's why he's fumbling around, because they can't be honest, folks. They can't be honest. Now, he accidentally let that one slip. It's like trying to walk this tightrope of propaganda and dishonesty towards the American people. He accidentally let it slip that, yeah, we knew Americans were going to die if Israel struck Iran, and they did it anyway, so we were forced to act. That's what he just said. But he can't be honest. The reason why we're putting American lives at risk in the region is because this administration cut a deal with the foreign donor class, so we have to. Just despicable. Just absolutely despicable. It all goes back to 9/11, folks. It all goes back to 9/11. And this was close Epstein friend Ehud Barak after 9/11 talking about what America would be forced to do.
I don't think that the collateral damage is the real issue at stake now. Look at the collateral damage, so to speak, that had happened in the United States. We are dealing with a world effort, not necessarily Osama bin Laden himself. We all know the names of rogue states: Iraq, Iran, North Korea, Gaddafi to an extent, maybe one more. We all know the names of rogue leaders and the name of thugs of terror. And their names are known to the MI6, to the CIA, to the BND, the CM Bureau. And there is a need for joint effort, diplomatic, economic, intelligence-wise, and operation-wise, the same way that our ancestors fought against the piracy on the high seas.
So there's Ehud Barak, close friend and associate of Epstein, after 9/11, naming all of the empires that Israel would make the United States attack after 9/11. There it is. And every single one of them have been attacked in the aftermath. And by the way, that was in the Epstein files. This is the Epstein files war. It's unreal. And it was all because of 9/11, which was a false flag. 100%. And now you see it. Now it all makes sense. Another member of the Epstein class goes down. Russian mogul who called Ghislaine Maxwell his soulmate is found dead in Lux Moscow pad. Batman has no jurisdiction. Chechen businessman and ex-senator Umar Zarbarlov found dead in apparent suicide. Well, of course, suicide in Moscow for another Epstein associate. Meanwhile, did you hear about this Ukrainian gets kidnapped? This is like Pavel Durov. This is like the rest of them. This is like the Mexican cartel guy. They all get honeypotted. They all get catfished by some Instagram model type. Igor Komarov, kidnapped in Bali. And now his family's getting bribed as they're torturing him. They're getting bribed for money. He's begging in this video. I'm not going to play it. Here's the girl. Here's the girl that he got entrapped by. Yeah. They all have that in common, by the way, from Durov to this guy. It's amazing, isn't it? I just want to keep that in mind. So, this kind of gets into what we talked about in the first hour. That whenever this stuff was like pure propaganda, the lies, the headlines against Trump, it didn't work. It was pure propaganda. Now they just have to tell the truth about Trump, and it's bad. It's like, oh yeah, Trump was partying with the millionaire class while Americans were dying. That's true. That happened. It's not made up. Well, now the comedy aspect of it is flipping. So SNL, Saturday Night Live, obviously, when they used to do the politically aimed, it was poor political propaganda, and it was all aimed at Trump, but it wasn't funny. Well, I'm not going to play the SNL clip. I'll get a ding for it, so I'll spare my producer having to deal with another ding. But they did a Trump opening this week on SNL, and it was funny. It hit. I had a laugh. I enjoyed it because it's true. When you try to do comedy that is not tethered to reality, it's not funny. But if you're doing comedy that's tethered to the reality, that's how it's funny. So now it's actually funny. They can tether it to the reality. Now the opposite is happening with the Babylon Bee. This is just totally unfunny. Tucker Carlson sneaks into U.S. military hangar to slash the tires on the B-52 bombers. It's not funny. It's just bad political propaganda. So now it's all flipped. Now kind of the left, the anti-establishment, liberal, progressive left that used to do bad propaganda disguised as comedy and it wasn't funny, now they can do good comedy because it's tethered to reality. Now the right wing, they can't do comedy anymore because it's not tethered to reality. It's just bad political propaganda. So now SNL is funny. The Babylon Bee is not funny. So crazy how we're watching all of this happen in real time. It's the yin and yang. It's the pendulum. But there it is. So I told you this would happen a couple months ago. What did I say? I said, you know, it's almost worth getting into this, but we've run long today. You know, I used to go around and do the gotcha videos on all the Trump protesters. I really created a genre. I created the genre of owning the Trump protesters. That was me. We got billions of views. That was all organic. That was all organic. And I said the other day, because people were like, oh, well, why don't you go back out in the streets? Why don't you go back out and do the street content? And I said, because if I was going to do that content, I'd have to do it to the right. The only gotcha own content that you could do in the modern sense, in the right now window, is owning the Trump tards. That's it. There's nothing to go out and own the libs on right now. It's just there's nothing relative there. There's nothing relevant. It's all old hat. It's all been done. It has no impact. The only gotcha you could do now, if I was going to go out and do that style of content, the only gotcha you could do now is at the MAGA tards. So that's why I don't do it. But eventually someone's going to. I told you you'd start seeing it, folks. Here it comes.
I liked his words, and I like.
So this guy gets asked, why do you like Trump?
I liked his words, and I like he did everything he said he was going to do, and he did it.
So what are some of those things that he said and then he did? Just one thing he said and then he did.
He caught me off guard there. I just.
What'd I tell you, guys? What'd I tell you? If you're going to be seeing any own the videos on the internet, it's all going to be on the right now. It's all going to be Trump supporters getting owned. There'll be some liberal stuff. It'll be mostly old hat, kind of the same stuff that's been tried and true. Not saying it's not out there, but like as far as relevant current events, politics, the only people that can get owned in real time right now are Trump supporters, just like you saw. Someone's going to eventually turn it into a genre. I don't want to be that guy. I have no interest in being that guy. But someone will do it. And again, it's funny because it's like when they used to try to go out and do this stuff, it never worked before. It never worked before because there was no there there. Now there's a there there. Now there's plenty of gotcha content, whether it's Middle East foreign policy, regime change wars, the economy, the deep state, like whatever. Now all the gotcha content is on the right. Hey, how are those Doge cuts coming? What do you got? You got nothing. How's those deep state arrests coming? What do you got? You got nothing. Are the Epstein files a hoax or not? So all the gotcha content. So now like the Jordan Kleppers of the world that went out and batted zero when they tried to do this stuff in the first 8 years, now they can actually go out and create the content they're looking for, just like SNL did over the weekend. All right, a couple quick things before we get to the super chats. 173 arrests made during Scottsdale's PD weeks-long sex trafficking sting. Holy smokes. How about that? More than 170 people were arrested during a sex trafficking sting that spanned 3 weeks in Scottsdale. The operation ran between January 21st and February 14th. Led by the Human Exploitation and Trafficking Unit, also known as HEAT. How do you like that? Detectives worked with several other Valley and Northern Arizona law enforcement agencies to conduct the sting, targeting sex buyers, child predators, and people involved in illegal sex work. Yikes. 173 arrests made. Some of those arrested were booked on charges that include child sex trafficking, attempted sexual contact with a minor, luring a minor in for sexual exploitation, on and on and on. God bless that operation. Wow. Thank goodness. And let's hope none of these monsters get back out on the streets. Holy smokes. Meanwhile, another one of these deals. Mother stabbed to death at Virginia bus stop by illegal immigrant with over 30 prior arrests. Why was he still here? Mother stabbed to death at Virginia bus stop by illegal immigrant with over 30 prior arrests. Unreal. Unacceptable, intolerable. Here's a headline that, I guess that's all you could say to that deal. Here you go. Listen to this one. Gunfight breaks out as Snoop Dogg opens Nipsey Hussle's new burger store. Yep. I guess that's exactly what I would expect. Gunfight breaks out as Snoop Dogg opens Nipsey Hussle's new burger store. All right. That one reads exactly like you would expect. Okay. Hey, Cardinals fans, St. Louis Cardinals fans in the audience, I've got good news and bad news. The bad news is it looks like your team is going to be at the bottom of the pack. The good news is, in order to ease some of that pain, the St. Louis Cardinals have introduced a new ticket package at $29 that includes bottomless soda, hot dogs, chicken tenders, bratwurst, nachos, fries, popcorns, peanuts, chips, and ice cream. All you can eat, guys. So go down to the ballpark, watch your team lose, and stuff your fat face and sit on your fat ass as the team takes a big fat L. Tragic what has happened to that once great franchise growing up. But man, oh man, it is one of the most beautiful ballparks. It truly is. And I actually miss the original Busch Stadium, mostly for nostalgic reasons, memories. But man, I don't know if that view gets any better for a baseball game. Now you can stuff your gourd while the team is getting stuffed on the scoreboard. So there you go. All right. Let's do it, guys, on a Monday. Into the super chats we go. What do you guys got for me today? Owen Schroyer's wifey ahead of the pack. Did you see the GIF running? Is that the one? There was some video. I think I know what you're talking about. I don't remember where it was. Was it the White House? I think it was in front of the White House. There were some Iranians out there, and then yes, a certain hat runs across the screen. I assume that's what it is. I see everything. You can't sneak anything by me. Ken Rose, blessings, Owen. To put it nicely, I'm not happy with Trump. Yeah, I don't think he cares, honestly. Weird dream last night. I impregnated Tulsi Gabbard. Wow. All right. That's certainly weird. Was it fun? Does your girlfriend know? Tulsi sold no war with Iran shirts. Yeah, I got rid of. I had Tulsi clips. I had a bunch of other clips. We could have played them for hours, but I think I got the point. I think we got the point. Bibi in Germany, Yair in Miami. I'm not so certain where Bibi is. We'll see what happens tonight with that interview. There was also reports that Yair was not. Loomer said, of course, she's known for lying now. No, Netanyahu's son is in Miami. So Trump's family, Netanyahu's family, they're not involved in this stuff. They're just getting rich off of it. Just the Poet. They want blood on this blood moon. Be safe, everyone. Yeah, the blood moon tonight. It's going to be March 3rd. March 3rd, 26, 2 times 6, or what? 2 or 6 divided by 2. How are we doing the numerology here? How are the numerologists doing the numerology to make it all threes? But it is at 3:33 on 333. You know they got the 3 in there. So at 3:33 on 333, there's going to be a blood moon tonight. It's going to be quite a sight, I would imagine. Fake Iran vids, fake Venezuela vids, Austin, Texas, false flag. Well, it happened. Texas toast potentially James Fishback, 26. It's getting wild out there. DZ 300. MAGA cult said Gitmo is expanding for military tribunals. They also said Trump is saving us from World War III because Iran was picked to start World War III. They are nuts. I saw that one. That was a Q thing. I don't know if you're correlating the two. The Q thing is this: the Iran regime was going to be used to kick off World War III. That's why he's taking them out first. So there's always a Q angle. I didn't realize MAGA was picking up that angle now too. Lord of the Re, president, parties, and patriots perish. Alliteration. Yeah. Well, no denying it. Dust Vault. Trump's statement about 4 dead soldiers was just as bad as Biden checking watch at Abbey Gate soldier return. Well, you can decide as far as was one worse than the other, but it's all Americans dying in the Middle East, and we're sick of it. Welcome to Electric Boogaloo. This is no longer about politics. It's a spiritual battle that may be ushering in the end. Live in the spirit, not the flesh. Fight Sports Talk. A year ago, you said America was bad and Russia and China were more trustworthy and honorable. When did Putin and Dugan buy you, traitor? Oh, we got one of these guys in the chat. I'll make you the offer, bud. I told everybody, I'll make you the offer. You might be new here. I will give you access to all my bank accounts, all my bank records. And if you find any money from anywhere, foreign money, whatever you think, people buying me off, as you say, I will give you every single dollar I have. But if you don't, when you don't, I get half of your money. So Fight Sport Talk. Are you willing to put it all on the line? You can have you get access to every single one of my bank accounts. And if you find whatever money it is you think you're looking for, I'll give you every dollar I have. But when you don't find it, you have to give me half of the money that you have. Is that fair? Will you man up? Will you man up? Or will you be a coward? Give you all the access you want. And I'm such a nice guy, I'll even let you know that because of all the legal stuff I've been in for the last 8 years, I've had net worth discovery multiple times. That means they go through every single one of your bank accounts. These are lawyers that want to destroy my life. So if they found anything, they'd probably report it to the press. And I also had the feds going through my bank accounts multiple times because I get an annual notice from the IRS. I have to submit my records to them. I had to deal with it as part of my federal probation, showing them receipts, bank receipts. So if there was anything there, people would already know and have heard about it. But I'll let you be the judge. I'll give you the access. Just put your money on the line. Put it all on the line, big boy. The real Emperor Palpatine. You're wrong on Obama. Red dreams from my father. He was groomed just like Trump, Bush, and Clinton. They were never good. Well, it's fair pushback. Cody Fisher. Owen, I know this is off topic. I used to think lizard people ability to morph / change was crazy talk. I hold my faith to a high standard and now leaning to the believing in it. What's your take? Wow. You know, the world is so insane and so corrupt and so nonsensical that you will actually reach to the nonsensical to try to make sense of it. And so you're just looking at everything now, and you can't help but consider, are these literally lizard people? That's just somebody being honest, open-minded. It's not even that you necessarily believe it or you'd go out preaching it. You're just like, how can it be this bad? How can we watch MAGA, these MAGA brainwashed idiots, go from no regime change wars to we love regime change wars? You're watching it happen right in front of your face. How can you watch people be so evil, such lying, maniacal bastards in the news media? So it's so nonsensical. It's so evil. You just look for any explanation, even if the explanation itself is nonsensical, like, are these literal reptilian people? So I don't report that. That's not my angle, but I do understand where you're coming from. Call me heartless, but I have zero sympathy for Israelis crying about being attacked. Well, the whole thing is crazy. They build these bomb shelters. They go hide in them because they know they're going to be in wars all the time, because that's what they do. Back to the mothership. Reunite with Alex. It's time. Are you going to do it every day, JV? You're going to do it every day? Captain Hard. Khamenei was labeled a martyr, so all we did was really rally Iran. Well, we'll see. Khamenei had a fatwa against nukes, which bans his military from making them. Troops are dying and we're bombing kids for Israel. Shake my head. Well, a lot of people see it that way now. Alex Jones burner account spamming the chat hard. Ooh, I'm sorry. I missed that, guys. I wasn't looking at the chat much today because I needed to stay focused and on point and on time. So, we don't censor anything from the chat. We don't censor anything from the chat. The only thing we will do is if somebody's spamming it, a copy paste spam, we will take them out of the chat for a show. But I'm sorry I wasn't monitoring that today. Look at Millie in the background wanting to learn more about white rage. Yeah, Trump with Millie in the background is kind of funny, isn't it? Black-pilled Devin Stack works with Stu Peters. Yeah, I said he wasn't a leftist when I played that clip. But there are a lot of leftist accounts doing it. Trump's one term, the signs were there. You don't have to like Obama. I don't, but his nuclear agreement was working. They are passing inspections. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a fair thing to say. And that's the problem with these political dullards that just get sucked into the vortex of everything is left or right. It's like, I don't have to like Obama. I don't have to like his policies, but I can just look at results and say, what were the results? And the truth is, I mean, I don't know. You could debate who destabilized the Middle East more, Obama or Trump. It's really indifferent. They both did it. But as far as Iran, they were pissed. Obviously, they were pissed when Obama cut that deal and sent all the cash over there. And that's fine. Hey, rightfully so. I don't really care. The point is that no matter who you get bad Middle East policy. You get more death and destruction. Oh, and I always thought the Bill Hicks thing was funny, but I saw a super convincing video the other day. Please blue pill me. From Mitch Connor. That Alex is not Bill Hicks. I have no reason to believe Alex is Bill Hicks. So I don't know. I don't know what you want me to blue pill you on there. The internet's a crazy place, man. I am Mercurio. Another suit and tie will come along and fool the idiots again. Nothing new. Owen Jones Schroyer. This is starting to trend now. Trump, American lives have to be lost, but how about that ballroom, folks? They tell me it'll be the best in the world. It's not good. We are going to definitely sacrifice some Americans for the Israelis again. It just has to be done. Think about my legacy. It's very important. Night of Mirage Odyssey. Mark my words, and it has already begun. Gas prices spiked to $3.50 a gallon in my area, more expensive commutes, higher heating and cooling bills, and increased costs for groceries and goods. Good God. Yeah, let's see. Let's see if that happens. But now everything makes sense. Now it's obvious the reason why we went into Venezuela was to secure the oil, because they anticipated this war with Iran, kind of shuffling up the oil markets, specifically in the Strait of Hormuz, in the Middle East. So we secured the deal in Venezuela to secure the oil. So again, the Venezuela move was all about Israel too. So it always comes back to it. Would you rather be Kim Jong-un or Gaddafi? Why don't we strike, you got all these countries with nuclear abilities. Why are we always striking Israel's enemies? Hagzeth is a himbo, in my opinion. A himbo. So we got the himbo bimbo, the two-step, himbo bimbo two-step happening. Hi, my name is Pete, and it's been 24 hours since I played with myself thinking about regime changes. I don't think Pete Hexeth likes it, honestly. I don't. Now, Lindsey Graham, he had a lot. Lindsey Graham had a lot of self-gratification exercise this weekend. Lindsey Graham's boyfriend wears some Mary Janes at Latgaff. Stephen Hancock, thank you. Danny Norton, my son is stationed over in Turkey, and their dismissiveness is disgusting. Turkey's going to be next. Israel wants Turkey next. Get ready. Boom, boom, boom. Iran. Neocon John McCain. Yeah, John McCain is MAGA now, too. Old video of Iran Shah warning American people that Israel has too much power over America, and then a year later we did a coup and overthrew him. Oh, yeah. That was, 1979? That video has been going viral on X again now. First, they did it when they were trying to bring in the exiled prince, and now they're doing it again. Yeah. Won't see that tonight on Fox News. Israel-U.S. relationship must be unprecedented. Well, it certainly is. Go woke, go broke. How about that, Wotan? Boomers brainwashed by 3 TV stations, radio, print. Boomers on the left lane on I-75 for no reason. I hate people in the fast lane causing traffic. Grandpa Trump didn't like Grandpa Iran. A lot of grandpas. I filled up my tank before the Iran war, 2.6 a gallon. Yeah, I imagine it'll go up, hopefully not too much. Sick of my nation being ruled by Israel's ATM and war golem. MAGA newest cope. We've always been at war with Iran. They are literally saying that. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on that one, because Iran killed all of our soldiers. Hey, look, I get it. I don't like that. I don't like Iran. Our soldiers were over there. We put our soldiers there. If Iranian soldiers came here and we killed thousands of them, would we feel bad about it? It's not an endorsement of Iran. Like, God, man, it's just, you have to couch all of these statements because you have so many low IQ political retards running around. I shouldn't do that because my audience isn't like that, but you know how it is. They clip you out of context, and then you have to just add the addendum in there in case they do it. That's what they do now, by the way. I'll have you know, there are people likely getting paid to monitor this show, clip things out of context, and make me look bad. So that's why I have to couch those statements, because they'll say, look, Schroyer's promoting Iran propaganda. No, I'm against Iran. So shut up. You traitors, you scum, get a life. Or enjoy the show. They offed Charlie so they can start the Iran war. Well, I think a lot more people are starting to feel that way. The woke right, stop hitting me as they curb stomp you into the ground. Khamenei had more kind words about Jesus on Christmas than any of the rabbis in Israel combined. Don't bring that one up. Tucker just said Qatar and Saudi authorities arrested Mossad agents planning to bomb certain areas. False flags. This is just bad. I hadn't heard about that out of Qatar, but I wouldn't be surprised if such things are happening. Timmy Jones, capitalism is sports. There's always just one winner. What, the audience? Operation Epstein Fury. Yeah. Thank you so much for telling the truth, babe. How can I assist? Just go, Max, babe. Gulf countries will eventually help. Qatar already said America isn't defending them no more. Only Israel and the naval ships. Yeah, I still think it's too early to understand all of this. Israel burned Baal statue amid Epstein files. Now war. Well, I don't think those two things are correlated, but that did happen. District of Criminals is an S-hole. DJT is political toast. Texas political toast. Oh, it's not looking good. Florida will survive 2026 midterms. Go Fishback. Gigi Gaziano. Iran is attacking strategic targets in other countries to hurt our economy and the American people since they can't directly attack the United States. Yes, that's right. The only question is how far back and how far long are they planning this stuff? Has Laura Loomer blamed the Texas shooting on Iran yet? Oh, yeah, of course. Of course she did. Spanish Golden Age now. Newsmax, spew of propaganda. Oh, and be honest, Loomer is a dude. Oh, man. Hey, you can ask her to do a DNA test, all right? Is that a human interest story? She's way too emotionally unstable to be a man, in my opinion. Way too emotionally unstable. I've been listening to Suleiman Ahmed X Space to get real updates on war. I must admit, a lot of the Muslims in there are far more conservative than what's left of MAGA. They hate the gay woke stuff more. Syrian girl debunked the oppressed Iranian women BS. Yes, she did. Slopaganda. That's my word. Slopaganda. Use it far and wide. James Fishback and Curtis Sliwa against Iran war. Yeah, Sliwa was on a video saying he was against the Iran war. It just happened. So now you know why they got rid of him. Now you know why the Israel right tanked him. They literally gave Mamdani, the mayor, and tanked Sliwa just to send a message that, hey, if you don't support Israel on the right, we will destroy you. And they did. More like Israel only right, Israel only lobbyists. That's true. Hello, mate. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when. Good game, guys. Sam White, hell yeah. If I was in a bunker, I'd be getting drunk. It sounds miserable. That sounds awful. Brizzy, oh, and I recently finished both seasons of Danger 5. Excellent show recommendation. They won't make shows like this anymore, in my Limp Bizkit voice. Yeah. I don't know about that. The Limp Bizkit voice. So, yeah, they don't make shows like that anymore. And if you're going to watch it, and I said this before, Danger 5, and I've got the movie recommendations already for next weekend, but I'll hold off. You're going to watch the first episode or two and just be like, all right, what in the hell am I watching? It will make no sense to you at all for the first episode or two. But if you can get through the first couple episodes, it all starts to make sense. And you realize how actually hilarious the show is, how original and how hilarious the show really is. Yeah, I love it. I was so pissed off I can't find it anywhere. It's almost impossible to find, and I thought it was maybe some reason for that. Everyone tired of winning yet? From Joe W. Don't think so. Owen Schroyer confirmed dating Latinas. I went out with a Persian girl at a university ages ago. I don't know. What are you confirming here? Large and in charge. Marco Rubio said 2 days were involved in Iran because of Israel. Yes, he did. We played that clip. Blackout Coffee is roasted in Fort Pierce, Florida. They got some nice roasting happening down there. They are using Charlie to promote the Iran war. Sick. I know. It's so grotesque that they won't just move on and let that show rest. Talk about rest in peace. Not in that case. They're just abusing the poor guy. And they sit here and they blame Candace Owens. It's like, you guys are doing the same thing. What hypocrites. You guys aren't letting Charlie rest in peace either. So if you're going to point the finger at Candace and say, let him rest, you guys let him rest. None of you will let him rest. Everyone's got an agenda. And for the war people, they're the loudest, most obnoxious, and you know what? They might just kill you for it. Co-create with me. My whole life is wars, yet we don't have a bomb shelter or air sirens of incoming hit like the swarm has. We're cooked, waiting on refunds from tariffs. You'll be waiting. Long time. FO News, F Hannity, F DJT, F neocons. Tea Party movement and MAGA both got co-opted. That's true. Review Tech Zimbabwe. Hey, Owen, been listening to you since 2019 and recently discovered your new channel here on YouTube. I rarely get to catch you live and listen mostly on Apple Podcasts. Keep up the good work with the Trump betrayal. We need to build a new coalition now. Yeah, it's happening. We're kind of in a void. So that's just how it is. And I can exist in this void because I can just cover news every day. That's what I do anyway. That's what I was designed to do. I was built for this. I am America's anchorman now. But most people are kind of just lost in this void, tossing and turning. So that's why just stick around here. We'll keep you stabilized. We'll keep you informed. But we are in a void. We are in a vacuum of leadership right now. So we're going to have to be patient with that. It's going to take probably at least a year until we start to sort it out. But after the midterms, I think, the political alignments will be getting a bit concrete. We'll understand what it is we're up against, where we can form alliances and kind of rebuild a new America First coalition. You listen on Apple Podcasts. Thank you to a listening audience. We are the archived show on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and on Spotify. I really like you listening on YouTube, guys. I would love to get to 50,000 subscribers. In fact, let me just tell you, do you subscribe or follow on YouTube? Whatever it is, you get it. I want to give a brief update since this is the first broadcast of March. When we set out to do this, and when I say we, I mean everyone in the audience, and then really I have a three-man team, but producer DMT is kind of the team, really. And then we have a great social media girl who helps out. But I also mean the audience. But let me tell you, when we set out to do this, and we had a vision in mind and what we were wanting to do, because, we started at scratch. I started at scratch. And it was just me starting a new network, the Win Network, starting a new show, the Owen Report, totally from scratch. And so I said at the end of 6 months, we just completed month number 5 of the Owen Report. At the end of 6 months, I wanted to have to the point where we got 1 million views per month, and I wanted to have 50,000 followers on the new YouTube channel. As of February, we are now eclipsing 1 million views per month, and we are, I think, about 1,500 shy of 50,000 followers on YouTube. So we're really right on track at where we intended to be. And so I'm really grateful for that. I appreciate that. If you guys could put us over that hump of 50,000 on YouTube, that would be fantastic. So I appreciate that. Elon Musk still shadow banned hipster Trey. There's a lot of that going on. I don't think it's Musk, though, but Owen, what's General Flynn up to? Book sales, church tours, leading from behind? Well, no, he's out there. He's making some pretty heavy statements. The problem is you have to learn how to operate in the modern media. And for General, you know what? Honestly, I probably just need to get him on the show. Because it's really hard to really be effective on social media. You really have to know what you're doing. And I actually have to help a lot of people in that endeavor because I see them making crucial mistakes. And so I reach out and I say, hey, you want to help your social media? Let me give you a couple pointers here. And so General Flynn is like the kind of guy where his knowledge is so it's so deep. He's so in depth with his analysis. Like, you can't really do that on social media. And he's not the kind of guy that can like sit down and talk. He needs somebody to interview him. He needs somebody to kind of like give him the right questions and kind of give him the right linear progression of a conversation so that you can really get the most out of his expertise, his experience, his knowledge. I mean, he's such a great source of wisdom and understanding, but it's like, it's also such a hard nut to crack when your knowledge and experience is so in depth like that. Social media doesn't work. You can't really just do a show. And unfortunately, and this is just the truth, there are very few people in the media landscape that actually know how to do an interview. That is just true. Most people in today's media either have no training at all, or they can't get out of their own ego and their own headspace in that they think that it's all about them. So they're like coming at it from a them perspective, and they don't know how to actually get what they need or what needs to be said from the person they're interviewing. So I take great pride in that skill. Maybe that's what we need to do. And General Flynn did reach out to me when all of this was happening, by the way. So maybe we invite him. Maybe that's a good thing to do. And I'm glad you said that. Owen Schroyer's granny. Trump may need to get some antibiotics to give his wife for that nasty rash on his neck. You just let me know if wifey is not treating you well. Oh, my goodness. Ian Miles Chong worked with Madame G via Reddit mods. I saw that flex. That was pretty wild. Plenty of cars with Texas plates now in Florida. Oh, boy. NASA. When they say 4 dead soldiers, they really mean 400. I heard a rumor about bodies returning, but it's just a rumor. I'm not going to go any further. Why do you never comment on scripture/spiritual chat? What do you want me to do? You put the scripture in the chat, and I read it. I don't know what that means. I don't comment on it. I do. I read the chat just like everyone else. There's someone out there that just found out Santa ain't real. Employee strong for life. Well, we're going to find out eventually. Iran is destroying American businesses to then go for Israel. Hard America will finally be out of the Middle East, and Nino Rodriguez is king of the Q. I wonder where the Q people are at on all of this. There's always a twist. And Joe Wizard, Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. Can you guys, why my chat? God, I know. Big Don from Orange County, don't fall for the Civil War antagonizing. Well, I don't think it works. I don't think it's going to happen. But you wonder if that isn't another side quest of this all. Glismus, yo, I know you spent some time in the feds, but I'm thinking we may need to take back control of this government. What do you think? I'm hoping. Actually, a nuke. Boy, oh boy. We're joking. Mitch Connor. Boomers fell for the terror meter after 9/11. Dumbest generation in history. Well, Wotan. They cry out in pain as they strike you. Logic Man. How do we save the republic? Is it possible or too late? Do elections even matter anymore? I think we're really up against it right now. I mean, that question carries more weight than it ever has in American history. I will say. Cody Fisher, respectful answer. Thank you. And true. That is what makes it seem more considerable. I'm from Central Ohio, and Big E and W forced my family off of their farm for building the LB facility. True evil. Thank you, Cody. DJT versus Lord Farquaad meme. That's funny. I saw that. Charlie Kirk was against the Iran war. Yeah, of course. Now they're using a show to promote it. It's disgusting. Kyle Seraphin is using the term slopaganda. Oh, that's good. That's good. Find out. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we both came up with that. I mean, it's kind of an obvious one. We talk. I don't know. Maybe he said it first. Maybe I said it first. I think I think he messaged me one day about that, and I gave him the green light. I was like, absolutely use that. It's perfect. It's what it is. Spine cone. Puzzle pieces. Roy Cohn plus Donald Trump, Netanyahu, Fred Trump, Trump history before coming to America. Who bailed Trump out of bankruptcy in the 80s? Well, that's a deep dive. Both seasons of Danger 5 are free to watch on YouTube. Well, not exactly, Brizzy. I mean, it's a bad quality, but yeah, anybody posts stuff on YouTube, but yeah. Careful, don't tell anyone. Grover Pearson, 20 plus years of internet media, Alex, Mark D, etc. We're the first in this space. You, Fuentes, and others are the new. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Appreciate that. Owen, social media girl, a Latina. You don't know that. Owen Schroyer, wifey. Social media girl is still my biggest op, by the way. Do you even know who it is? Boiling Point Live. Brother, man, it's like you said, this is the reality of politics today. This is the devil he made a deal with. It's not him, then another. We all see it. What do you think Rush would think about what's happening? Well, I already said I'm not going to speak for the dead. People ask me that all the time. I'm not going to speak for the dead. But I will say, you know, I was actually thinking about getting into it, not to speak for the dead, but to tell you what Rush Limbaugh did say about all of this. But I'll just go back to this for now, for the sake of the time, as we're crossing the 3-hour barrier, about to close out our super chats. Rush said, the only person that can destroy the Trump coalition and the only person that can separate Trump from his base is Trump. And now that has happened. That is what Rush said. He said it numerous times, because this is when everyone else was trying to separate Trump from his base, and it never worked. He said the only person that could do it is Trump, and now it's happened. So Rush was 100% on with that. Watch you on InfoWars since you started, but I have to say the show got way better when Roger left. I know you like him, but dude sucks. You should have a Dave Weiss on for the ultimate flat earth debate. I think I met Dave. I think Dave was in the studios at InfoWars one time. I think I met him. They're all nice guys. I'm not debating flat earth. I don't do the flat earth debates. I'd host one. I'd have no problem moderating one. But I'm pretty sure I met him. I think he was in studio on the Jones Show one time. I think he got into it either with Alex or somebody else. I think Eddie Bravo was there. Those guys are fun, though. Eddie would be fun to get on the show. I'd like to catch up with Eddie. But thank you for that. I appreciate that. And, you know, I just feel like there's a natural talent when it comes to broadcasting. Some people either have it or you don't, right? And so then it's like, okay, if you have it, you can do it. If you don't and you want to do it, you have to find some sort of a niche, or you have to go into the field, essentially. But I'm one of the few people that was actually trained in this. I'm one of the few people that wanted to do this and knew it by the time I was 18. So it's like, I understood when, I was a little upset. I wanted my own 3-hour show, but I was a young guy. I think I was 26 at the time. And obviously Roger Stone is a much bigger name than me, and he's a legend. So having him on the show was a blessing. But I appreciate that observation and compliment. It means a lot. Hope you enjoy the show. You know, we put a lot into it every day. When Texas goes to crap, Owen should move to Florida like Rush. Cowpoke Ranch. I will be voting Democrat from here on out, just like all our ancestors did up till 40 years ago. I hope you'll decide to make that choice too. I don't see how I could vote Democrat, I'll tell you. I don't see it. And there's definitely Republicans that I support. There's definitely Republicans that I like, especially here in Texas, that I will be voting for. Like Ken Paxton. I'm pissed off that the Republicans would run Paxton and Hunt in the same race. You need to separate those two, because those are two guys that we need to win, but obviously only one of them can win. So that's that, though. I just don't see how I could vote Democrat, but see, here's the thing. Here's what, I'm in a unique position where it's like, I can't let the Democrats take Texas. I can't go vote. I can't go vote for a Democrat. I can't let Texas turn blue. We cannot let Texas turn blue. So that's kind of like, if you're looking at all the different like political measurements, we cannot let Texas go blue. So I can't vote Democrat. And why it's like, I could understand. It's like, yeah, I don't want to vote Republican, or I'm sick of being screwed by the Republicans. Midterms are a little different, but it doesn't, see, this is what people don't understand. I always say it, like, you're not fighting for my vote. there might be people in my audience that haven't decided, and I'm not here to tell them they can vote however they want. We're not in a cycle where it's like, hey, this is looking like the right move. The people that are in the middle are all going to be leaving the right. The right wing, Trump has completely sabotaged all the MAGA momentum, all the political momentum into this midterm election. It's all dead. And now it's all moving to the left. So Trump did that. Trump and the GOP did that. Not Owen Schroyer, not Candace Owens, not Tucker Carlson. Even the psychotics like Levin and Loomer, they're not even doing that. I mean, people just see that and they just see it as a cultural political thing and they say, holy crap, you're nuts. But no, this is all Trump. This is all Trump. This is all the GOP. That's why it's going to swing. Hassani Parker, love you. The most handsome American, no Diddy. I'll take the compliment. I'll take that. That's the last super chat. I'll take the compliment. Why wouldn't I? It's been a long weekend. Why not take a nice compliment like that? It's very nice. It's very, very kind. It's a true observation. Also, it's very true. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. All right, loaded. Boy, we were loaded today. Boy, we were loaded today. We got through it all and the super chats, just over 3 hours. We will take a 21-hour break. We'll do it again tomorrow, same time, same place. God bless and Godspeed.